Let's go.
Welcome to the Cardiff Arts Park. I'm Ricochet. This is Rhys Williams. We are sponsored in the back by Aspen Waite Wales and Uber Eats, and we're bringing you live coverage of this crucial match between Edinburgh and the Cardiff Blues. Crucial from the point of view of European qualification. Actually, I'm just looking out over the top of the laptop at the two teams that are warming up. It's crucial in so much as the Blues, I think they have to win, but it also looks as though the Scarlets, who are playing Connaught as we speak, or they will be playing Connaught at the same time as this game kicks off, they're involved in a crucial game as well. And I think if the Scarlets win, as it stands currently, they'll pull away from the Blues, and that's end of sports for the Blues in terms of qualifying for the top tier. Is that correct? How do we? How is that an accurate synopsis of where we stand?
I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty accurate. You never know; there could always be some anomalies, but I think the Blues just got to concentrate tonight of winning, bonus point, and hoping that the Scarlets come unstuck against Connaught, who, on paper, would look at a good strength. I think tonight compared to perhaps Edinburgh, that have obviously lost a lot of their internationals who are still on international duty with the game on Friday.
I mean, the implications tonight are massive, obviously. The Blues, I mean, before we talk about the inevitable thing, which is the Welsh game on Saturday, which I don't think anybody has stopped talking about. It's the first time I've known it's the first time a Grand Slam match has been played under lockdown restrictions. I pray to God it never happens again. Because it was, if watching Six Nations rugby, it's a surreal thing to do under lockdown, to watch your team go for a Grand Slam and just not be able to share it with anybody, or it's just most odd. But all that to one side, what a game of rugby.
It was genuinely probably the best game of rugby that I've watched in ages, in a couple of years at least. I was just... After the first 20 minutes, I was like, these guys can't keep this intensity going. They can't keep this type of match going. And then I thought, well, actually, you could be looking at using your bench at, half time.
Yeah.
If it kept on going. But then also as well, I thought the referee was outstanding on the weekend in the way that he communicated in the game, especially when it came to using the ball.
Come on in, Bluey. Don't worry about the fact we're live on air, mate. Sorry.
Especially when it came to the ruck, he was pretty adamant with, let's get the ball away, use it, and that just opened the game up a little bit more. Conditions were perfect. You've got two teams that want to play with the ball and play attacking rugby.
I just think, absolutely. That's the stuff I want to concentrate on. There's some negative stuff that we can concentrate on. I agree with you. I think the ref did well within the framework of how he has to referee international rugby under the current guidance. I think he did it in an exemplary manner. I think his communication skills were impeccable. He was very clear. He was very concise. But that's almost like the sideshow. We don't really want to be talking about that. I want to be talking about how amazing it was to watch those two teams. I don't know what it says. It says about, this is rugby, how we love it. We don't want, we've been talking for years about sides, attrition. We talked about, we've talked incessantly about the way Warren Gatland played. And I'm going to come out here now and say, look, there wasn't a bigger Warren Gatland fan in the world than me. I loved Warren Gatland. I love what he did for Wales, in that he put us back on the rugby map.
We won.
He made us, he made us a team that were hard to beat. And then in some of those games that we then actually tipped the balance because we were so superbly conditioned.
Yeah.
I was a critic of Pivac. I couldn't see how we were going to make any, I was just like, wow, we are, we're just going to miss Gatland so much. I can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Pivac's autumn was now he'd look at it and say, I was just getting my shape. I was just looking at options. I was looking to see what I could do. His Six Nations last year, similar sort of thing, I suppose. Disappointing. Some of those games could have, I suppose, gone either way. I think, but then this Six Nations say, lucky red cards, lucky this, lucky that, lucky ref decision, lucky knock on, lucky. But I don't care. That game on Saturday was just sensational. And ironically, you lost it. But for me, you can stay forever, Wayne, if we can watch rugby like that. Although I suppose if we lost games like that if every game like that we lost, we'd soon get fed up with it. but just an incredible game of rugby union football. I absolutely loved it. And you say, how long did they go on for? Well, not long. After about 25 minutes, they had blown themselves kind of out. But where to start? What was your highlight? What was
of Saturday? I just can't stop reliving the last 4 minutes.
Oh God! Highlights first. We'll come to the
highlights.
How typically Welsh. We'll never get out here now.
You know what? I was thinking for us to win in Paris on Saturday before the game. I was saying I predicted us to win by 2, which wasn't a bad prediction.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the last 4 minutes, but I thought that would have had to have been one of our best wins for a good number of years to beat France in France. And it'd have had to have taken a lot of our world-class players to have massive games and for our backs defend really well. And I wasn't concerned, but I thought the French would really attack George North as a 13 because
he plays so well.
He's amazing.
I mean,
Foxy stepped up as well. But I thought Bigger just couldn't put a foot wrong.
I thought Wyn Jones was like, my God, like a
young Gethin Jenkins.
Revelationary performance. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. His work rate.
I'm not sure he's quite as good as Gethin at his best, but my God, he just did everything. He was making the hits. I wonder how much the try that he was fingered for against Scotland. I can't remember, but he was he just nodded off as a guard once, didn't he? And he was outstanding.
Yeah. Our back row as well.
Cannonball Ken was just back to his absolute best.
But that's what we need.
Beard is emerging as as a real he's a ball playing line out option. Just amazing. And we've got talent in the back row in spades. Halfbacks coming out of our ears. Or scrum halves anyway. We've got
3, 4,
Davis,
5. Yeah.
Ian Lewis, Tom Williams. Just unbelievable. So I'm so optimistic now about the future in a way that only one bad loss could say, rubbish, PVAC out.
It's PVAC out. But that's what we've done well is develop that shape. And, I don't want to hark back and sound old, but, going back to 2003, it took us a while to get that shape that kind of got the Grand Slam in 2005. And, you can see that you got, attacking ball now. We've got width across the field, which allows us to get to that space. And you got, Tips playing on the wide flanks. You got Alan Wyn Jones holding width on the left-hand side a lot. So, as well, the forwards aren't being asked to hit, work around. We saw our wingers. I don't know how many times our wingers carried the ball on the weekend, but they were just offering themselves. And that's the type, for me, it's got Stephen Jones written all over it. And I think that's a real positive thing that I'm not, Wayne Pivac, yes, is the head coach, but then you think about what's behind him. You got Steve Jones, you got Gethin Jenkins, you got John Humphreys. And I think we should be proud of the fact we've got 3 Welsh coaches, and just behind Wayne. Think about Gethin. That defence was outstanding. The scramble defence, the hunger behind it, and he was against Sean Edwards, arguably the best defensive coach in the world.
Absolutely.
And
there wasn't anything about it that you didn't love, apart from the last 10 minutes and the game management, which was, I have to confess at this point, I was several pints of Moretti in. And I'd said to my missus had said, right, I'm going up now. She'd been in the other room watching something else. She said, I'm going to go. Because it's quite a late kickoff, wasn't it? So I'm going to go. I said, you know what? I think we're going to win the Grand Slam. We're 10 minutes up. The French have just had a man sent off. And we got a 10-point lead. And within 11 minutes, I was crying into my Moretti, cursing principally. I felt we could have managed the yellow card situations better with a 10-point lead as the clock was ticking down. Surely it would have been better to concede a try wide out maybe and the kick not be, than to have 2 men sent off.
Yeah.
With a 10-point lead. I don't know about that. That may be I've never really played in that era, so I'll have to ask you on that. But the biggest boneheaded thing that I saw was that when the French actually knocked it on with a minute to go, that we didn't just go, oh, I'll stand off that. The referee will be forced to give us a scrum.
Yeah.
And then we can mess about there for 5 minutes. Well, for 50 seconds that needed to elapse and reset a scrum. And
Yeah, and I thought, I don't know what I would have done. I was saying kick it across the ground and out with 78 minutes, and then say to France, you've got to score from 80 metres out.
I would prefer to have done that after 50 minutes of a scrum, 50 seconds of a scrum, and then I can't remember who was on. Gareth Davis was on, was he? Or I can't remember who was on.
Yeah, Gareth Davis.
Gareth Davis was on. Yeah. He could have humped it. He could have kicked it dead. Yeah. And they would have had to do a 20. No, they would have had a scrum, wouldn't they? Yeah, they'd have scrum back. But if they kicked it into the 10 metre and he dabbed it down, they'd have had a 22. They'd have had to kick it back to us. I don't know. Anyway, we got a game going on. Rhys, I can't read those because of my eyes.
I got them.
Tell me if there's anything interesting there, because I can see. I think your missus has sent one
in. Yeah, somebody said, "What a handsome man."
That's clearly you.
That is. Well, it might not be actually, because it is from my wife. But she might be looking at you. And my sister's on, so my family's on. Yeah.
Good. Well, we can always guarantee.
Do you think Scotland will do enough for us to win the championship? Should we hit that now, or should we save that?
Oh, we'll save that because it's a good one, and let's come back to it. In case we forget about it, my feeling is I think they will. Right, but just to paint the picture for you here, we are sat in one of the beautiful Cardiff Blues corporate boxes, bringing you this live stream, sponsored by Aspen Waite Wales and Uber Eats, and we have the pitch there in front of us. And Edinburgh are playing in white, and they're off to an absolute flying start here. They are picking and going, and they are asking many questions of the Blues defence. The man who will always have the answer to it is the one who's made the latest tackle, who is my hero, Ellis Jenkins. And I think we've slowed them down enough now and pushed them far enough back. They're now back beyond the 22. Oh, that's a great angle.
Now go.
But beautifully defended by the Blues. But quickly, talk us through that passage of play by Edinburgh, because there was some intent and they've got some absolute monsters. Who's that guy? He's huge.
Bill Matter.
My God, he's enormous.
Yeah, he is huge.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone bigger than him.
Yeah, I think that was really slick handling. Then conditions. You got to say tonight, conditions are perfect. It's not a. Doesn't look like there's a breath of wind.
It's very mild. It's probably below 10 degrees, so it's not chilly.
No, the grass looks good.
The grass is immaculate.
But yeah, that was some crisp handling. Scottish sides play a quick rocking game.
Yeah.
They don't mess around. They get it going, and once they get that going, it's hard to defend. And Blues, worked hard. Then a couple of good tackles. Saw straight away, a couple of tackles trying to stand them up. So obviously going to try and hold Edinburgh up. Get two people around the ball, slow that ball down, and then sort of nullifies the threat they've got with their rucking game. But Blues got to make sure they keep their line speed to be able to do that. But that was some good defence in the end.
I was superb defence. It's a scrum just outside the 15 metre, where the 50 metre cuts the Blues 22. There was a big blind side. Jason Harris was invited by Lloyd Williams to clear it, and he's clearly deliberately kept that in play, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it's been gathered by Charlie Savala, the Edinburgh outside half. The Blues can be careful they're not done for holding on. He's kicked it straight back, and the Blues have regathered it and recycled it, and they're now pretty much back to where they were for the scrum. Ben Thomas has kicked off his right boot from about the same spot that the scrum was set less than 30 seconds ago, and it is brought back gleefully.
God, he is
huge.
Straight into our head, mind you.
It's been a while since I've watched a lot of live rugby. Bill Matter. I'd like to see his statistics. Get me his stats. Get his stats up. The ball is kicked crossfield. Matt Morgan gathers it, steps in to the 15 metre channel, beats the first tackler, the second brings him down, and there's a little two-man ruck that Lloyd Williams flips it out to Josh Turnbull. He's met by the first of the Edinburgh tacklers, and it's back in the pocket to Jared Evans, who kicks a scruffy one in between the right wing and the fullback Damien Hoyland. Hoyland sends it up from about his own 10 metre line. It won't make it into the Blues half, but he's challenged well for the kick, and he's regathered it himself and made it to the Blues 10 metre line, and then quickly and rather hurriedly, that's a sensational kick if that's what he's intended to do. I don't know who kicked it, but it was a good one.
I think it was the scrum half,
Charlie Shield.
I think won the aerial battle there. I thought actually he's into sort of clear ground then, but good tackle by Jared, and then a great kick pressure on the Blues to get out of here now.
Rory Thornton wins the line-out, a shortened 3-man line-out, and it's worked to Ellis Jenkins, who runs it up the 15-metre line. And now we've got the long ruck being set back to Lloyd Williams, who takes it off his left foot. Good clearance kick. So having studiously avoided putting the ball out of play, they've won one line-out and then hurriedly kicked it off the field. So like I said, they've won the aerial battle there, haven't they, Edinburgh? They're now going to have good field position to launch the next phase of their attacking play.
It's quite a frantic start to the game as well, isn't it?
Brilliant. Really good to watch. Really exciting, pacey stuff. It's always a quick game on this surface, though, isn't it? I would have hated to have played on it.
I'd have loved it.
Oh, I couldn't have.
It's like going to a French ground every time.
Long line out
by Ellis Jenkins.
Long line out throw, and it was picked up by one of the.
Who's that?
I got a feeling picked up by one of the midfielders of Edinburgh directly off the line out. Cutting out.
Oh, it's gone forward.
Well, it's squirted out, doesn't it, out of hands, and it's made it into Ironi Sow's hand, who is probably quite a lump himself, but he just doesn't look it next to some of these other guys. I mean, you just don't get small. Matt Morgan's about the only small back three player in the world anymore, isn't he? I suppose him and Halfpenny.
Yeah,
Halfpenny's not that small. You just don't get little people anymore. No,
but he should have a good game tonight, Matt Morgan. I think it's the type of game that'll open up, and without a doubt they'll look for some counter-attacking opportunities, because Edinburgh tend to get a little bit narrow. So I think Matt Morgan will be hunting in those wide channels tonight.
So if, in answer to the question about can Scotland do us a favour, I think they can. I think it's whether that. What is the points? Because it's not just bonus point. There needs to be a points difference as well, doesn't there?
Yeah, about 20, isn't it? I think.
Is it scored or
difference
to
win? You've got to be going some to beat Scotland by 20 points.
I think at the moment you have, but I think anything's capable. This French team are capable of anything apart from beating England, who are the worst team in the championship apart from Italy. But then the
Scots are capable of beating France as well.
Yeah. Oh, what a handoff by Turnbull! He's given old Charlie Shield the thanks for coming. And he's made about 5 meters. Rhys Gill.
That's a penalty, isn't it?
Well, he must be. He's mile offside. Big Bill.
No, the ref has given it. He said he's.
Big Bill Matt. He said he's okay. You can come round and do that and then go back on side again. Can you, ref? Seems a bit odd.
Yeah. Lloyd's at the bottom of that, is he? He must be.
Yeah, because Ellis Jenkins is playing scrum half and he flips it up to probably Thornton, was it? Or
yeah.
Seb Davis, one of those two. Couldn't really tell because they were bending down to pick it up. The ball has been presented back to Lloyd Williams, who 2 meters inside his own 22 kicks it down to about the Edinburgh 10-meter channel, and they run it back over halfway now through their midfield backs. Can't quite see who that is because the number's on the other side and I don't recognise their body shapes that well. Help me out here, Rhys. But they're full of it tonight.
Yeah, they are.
They're coming left, they're coming right. They're not looking to do anything apart from that little kick over the top. And it's a nice measured one. It's been gathered very well by the retreating Jared Evans, who was in the middle of a 3-man pincer movement there. He had nowhere to go. Oh, no. What on earth was that?
Oh, it's gone backwards.
No, it didn't. That should have been a knock on. And if we get away with that, then we're lucky. Seb Davis has joined the long ruck. Lloyd Williams gets
that out.
Like a bit of a scruffy box.
Yeah,
it's a good kick, mind.
It's a good kick.
It
wasn't pretty. It was a bit Tom Shanklin.
It was, but it's 30 meters away from the try line, and it was a good kick. It was a funny old kick, wasn't it? It was like
it's like a Rupert Moon.
I'm not sure what it was.
Like a Rupert Moon box kick.
Like he shinned it.
It's pretty effective though.
Absolutely. So the Blues will defend a line out. I mean, it's breathless stuff. And like we're
Scarlets have gone over for a score. Martin, keep us updated with what's going on.
Martin Williams.
I don't think it's that Martin Williams.
That name rings a bell.
Yeah.
So Martin's going to update us with scores from the West Parker Scarlets, where the Scarlets are taking on Connacht. That's an overthrown Edinburgh line-out, and the Blues have got ball, and it's coming back to Lilo. And he's dipped his right shoulder beautifully through a gap. No one can get him down. Eventually they do, but only after he's made about 20 metres. What a good run that was. Turnbull,
great
his
ball.
first receiver, fantastic,
no.
getting the ball out into the midfield, but our hip, perhaps not the ideal man to be looping around, but the initial knock on. Is that Nigel? My eyes are so bad now. The ref looks like Nigel Owens.
Yeah, it is.
Good God.
Good spot.
But I honestly got my eyes are so glasses for the close-up stuff, and then there's plenty of glare on these windows.
Yeah.
And they're a bit grimy.
It's good to be back here, though, isn't it?
It's lovely to be back here.
Here's a question for you, something that we spoke about earlier. How far off do you think Ellis Jenkins is from coming back into the Welsh squad, guys, playing so well so early following his return?
Well, you were talking about that earlier, because you're again much better placed to talk about players of this caliber that you've played with, but how players react to that type of injury. I don't think I've ever even heard of it. You know, the great players often, when they've had this type of injury, they never really come back to the level that they were at. On the evidence of what I've seen so far, he's straight back there, which is unbelievable. To be out for 2 years, you know, and not really show any apprehension. And normally you'll play 40 minutes, which he did, 40 minutes, 50, 60. But just in the first game, you know, just disregard for what had happened, you know. You talk about mental toughness or mental resilience. He must have a little compartment. Or thick. He did mention thick earlier on.
He must, but he's not thick though, is he?
Well, he's not, is he? He's a very bright lad.
But he must just have a little compartment.
If you can put that out, you can put that out of your mind. I mean, I don't know, but the major injury I had in my career was a dislocated shoulder, and I got it running up to tackle a French winger in a rugby league game, and I just sort of wasn't close enough to him, and I tried too hard, and I don't think it ever really left me. Yeah. You know, that feeling don't do that again. Yeah. Don't ever do that again. Make sure that when you're doing your tackling, they're coming straight onto you, and then that's a good thing to do. We'll come back to that discussion. Is it that I suppose the take-home message so far from this game is that the Blues' defence is as well organised. As anything you could see. I wish you could see it. It's been a really good game. They're coming at us, Edinburgh. They're running straight towards us. So from the Taff end, we're at the Westgate Street end, and they're attacking this end, coming at us in waves, left and right. They're trying absolutely everything. They've got a couple of big islanders that are trying to smash through. On a couple of times they have. The scramble defence has been superb, but the organisation is so far. I mean, I don't think our hip wants to be out there. He needs to get a little bit closer to the ruck. But again, they're just, you know, there's no one's missing a tackle. Although James Johnson has done well there, the outside centre. My goodness me, that will be felt by Andrew Davidson. I mean, he was just wedged by Josh Turnbull and somebody else in blue.
Oh, now don't miss that.
Careful, that's going to be a potential high tackle that should never even be thought of. There was one of those on Saturday as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Someone got a high tackle for wrapping their arm around his shoulder. Anyway, we'll get on that hobby horse later on. I mean, the intent, just the ability for Edinburgh. What phase are we on here?
Here we go.
Oh, we've turned it over.
Yeah.
And Liam Belcher half slithers through 30 metres out, which is where the Blues did all their defending. You know, Edinburgh huffed and puffed, have been going left and right. The Blues finally turn them over. That said, there can't be much gas left in the Blues tank for these phases of play to be launching any major counter.
No, you can see by the body language.
They're just get off the pitch. Get off the pitch. Oh, God, but they don't put it off the pitch, do they? They can't. Legs are going to get heavy. Something's going to have to happen.
Oh, great.
And what happened was Nigel Owens is awarded a penalty against Damien Hoyland, the fullback that came up and gathered Lloyd Williams' kick in the 15-metre channel, about 20 metres in to the Edinburgh half. He advanced it. Did he isolate himself? Is that what he's?
I think so. Yeah, and then our hip was
over him.
Be a first chance now for the Blues to have the ball in the Edinburgh half, I think. But
going back to Ellis and how he's able to, I can't remember what his mechanism of injury was because it happened like right at the end of that. South
Yeah, he was on
it, and you came back and looked at him and went, "Oh, what happened?"
He was over a jackal, wasn't he? And
right. Okay.
One of the players was stuck under his leg, and another one came and tried to shunt him off
he
it.
Couldn't.
And his shin wouldn't move, so his knee.
Yeah. So it just had a shear. But with that. That's his bread and butter business, isn't it? Being over the so every single time you're going to go into that jackal position, surely if you're as mentally weak as I was, then you'd be going, "Oh my God, they're going to," that
was one of the first things he did when he played in his first game back, and
because he's fearless, because he trusts. I mean, he has trust. Maybe he just trusts his body, or just goes, "Look, if you're that, you can't be that unlucky twice, maybe." Because most of these things are quite freakish.
Yeah.
Because normally, in those circumstances, you'd feel your foot is trapped and you'd move it. Right, the Blues, I think their first chance of attacking ball from that penalty off the line out, they are going right across field, crabbing a little bit. Someone needs to straighten it. It's worked its way out to Lilo. Lilo steps off his right foot. They're 7 meters in for touch, just outside the Edinburgh 22, running towards the Taff end. Very good Edinburgh defence, but there's a big hole there as Lloyd Williams quickly gets it out.
Good angle.
I think that was Turnbull, wasn't it?
No, it was Ellis again.
It was Ellis again, was it? Oh, of course, with his headband. And now the space has been created for Matthew Morgan, who's scampered in his own inimitable style down that 5 metre line and has come back in field again. Edinburgh meet the Blues on the 22. It's all taking place side to side across the Edinburgh 22. That white line is holding firm. It's a roundabout where the Blues line out took.
Here we go.
But now there's space created. Matt Morgan has opened it up for Ellis Jenkins. Ellis probably needed to fix his man a bit sooner before giving that pass, but give it he did. And Alan Summerhill has done well to retain possession and take it up to, within 5 metres. And there's pick and go time now. Oh, that's a huge hit. I can't see who's done the huge hit. Pick a number. One of them. One of those massive Edinburgh forwards just minced one of the Blues players, but good play.
Yeah.
And if it is a penalty, then what a great opportunity for the Blues to take 3 points and say, "Fab, we're 20 minutes in. You've been pounding us. You've been pounding us for 20 minutes, and we're actually going to take the lead."
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a reward for the forward pack. They've been working hard, hitting good angles. I think the striking thing is how crisp the passing looks tonight from both sides, in all fairness.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the number of phases of play, I can think, the actual set pieces that have started this game, we've had the kickoff and then it went for a phenomenal amount of time. Then we had a scrum here. We've had a couple of line-outs and a line-out over here, a line over there, and a line-out. There's not been that many restarts.
No. It's been very quick. Should be an interesting game.
Fascinating.
Especially for these big forwards after 60 minutes.
But I think I suppose this season they've not played here that much. Rodney Parade was a fairly fast track for a grass pitch, but it's nothing like this, is it?
No. And it'll be...
is this a different type of surface to the one that was, has the technology advanced even more than the one that was laid about 5 or 6 years ago? When was the first one laid?
It was 4 or 5 years ago. Was it more than that?
I think it might be more.
Could be more than that.
When did our dear friend Jamie go to Jamie Roberts go to Paris?
13,
something like that. He'll be getting on for about 7 or 8 years ago. Because I remember his last game here.
Post?
Oh my God!
Got it back.
He has it. The post has come back to, I think it's Seb Davis, and obviously there's a well-rehearsed ploy this because it's been shipped out to the left wing, and I think it was. No, it's not Turnbull. There's Turnbull there in the midfield waiting to receive. They've done extremely well to recycle this. And again, they're inside the Edinburgh 22. Jared Evans gets it out to Lilo. Lilo had room with Matt Morgan, and outside him, he would have had Jason Harries. But there just wasn't enough space for them to operate. So now they're coming back to the left. You can see that there has been, on a couple of occasions, just a little bit of drifting. And I would say Jared Evans needed to be a little bit more direct there and a little less lateral. What would you say as a back who knows what he's talking about? Rather than a prop who never did more than play semi-pro.
I think we've seen it a couple of times now. We've gone 3 phases to the right. And then when we've switched back, we've hit it once. And then we've had an opportunity to go. So Edinburgh have been a little bit narrow when we've come back against that. So I agree with you there. We just went a little bit lateral. I think it was Ben Thomas that took the pass behind somebody else from Jared, and that just needed to straighten up a bit to give them the space on the outside. Otherwise, Edinburgh will just rely on their push and using the touchline as that additional defender.
They certainly did. It is a fascinating game. For a game that sits at 0-0, it's hard to believe that that is the score. You're listening to Matchday Live, streaming of the Blues game versus Edinburgh in the Pro 14, the Guinness Pro 14. I'm Ricochet. This is Rhys Williams. We are sponsored by Aspen Waite Wales and Uber Eats. Looking forward to that at halftime. And we have a game. What's going on in Scarlet Land? Have we any updates?
So it's 7-5 to Connaught.
Is it?
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Connaught.
Here's a good one for halftime.
Keep a note of these.
Yeah,
Keep a note of these
number
discussion topics.
of how many Welshmen will make the Lions.
Lions.
The Lions tour. How many Welshmen? So I'll put Lions as a note. Ellis Jenkins, we've done.
Yeah, is Ellis in the team? In the Lions team?
Yeah. The thing is, if there's an injury to a 7 and they want an out-and-out 7,
I'll put him in mine.
I don't know. It's from an injury perspective, I haven't had ACL 3 times before. That's unlucky. Before I was 23 and a dislocated shoulder. I can only
It's not
say
Hugh Davis, is it?
your knees are a law to their own. You have a bit of good fortune on knee injuries, whoever you are. Best of luck, Ellis.
Well, the surgery as well can go one of two ways, can't it?
Yeah.
You know, and I remember I lived with. Have you ever met the great Hugh Davis that I bought the Cameo Club with?
Oh yeah, Hugh. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the mighty pan-faced orangutan.
Oh,
Here goes Morgan. You were talking about it, and he's cut into ribbons. No one can get hold of him. He's so fast and elusive. And then someone, unfortunately, got hold of him and brought him down. But the Blues are in possession, about 10 metres outside of the Edinburgh 22. Nice slip. Now then, straighten it.
Stay in field.
Yeah, they've managed to get it back in field. Rhys Gill carries it on about the 15-metre line into the Edinburgh 22. Lloyd Williams to Jared Evans. Under the post now. It's not under the post, but in front of the post. It's our hip slams it, gets driven well back by the defenders. Lloyd Williams looking for a little bit of room on Jared Evans. Hands it on to Ben Thomas, who knocks it on. Edinburgh pick it up, scamper quickly, look threatening that they might come away with an intercept or a breakaway try, but they were brought down. And Edinburgh are back in possession now, and they are bringing it between the 5 and the 15-metre lines up that channel, and it's Charlie Shield who this time kicks to the box. Morgan, there was absolutely no one challenging.
He goes again.
And if you do that, if you give Matthew Morgan 10 metres around him, he will do that. He will not get tackled, but he can isolate himself.
He almost did too well then. He isolated himself.
Shame. Can I borrow a pen?
Yeah.
Please.
Sport just didn't get to him quick enough, really, in North Bannister.
I'm going to try and scratch out the Lions team here.
Lions team, or we're going to do
How many Welsh in the squad?
in the squad? You're going to try it
I
now.
will do. Let me.
Connaught have scored a second try.
Have they indeed?
12-5.
I would.
Cheers, Martin and Simon.
I would not want any of our West Walian colleagues to think that we wish them any ill,
No.
but they would do the same for us. You know, you'll be collateral damage, boys. I'm awfully sorry. Does that sound professional enough?
Well,
Okay. Unlucky. They'll be crying their eye out.
yeah, well, we've got to win this game as well, mind you.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. And we're about to go behind, I think. Do you think? You reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know who it is kicking, but he looks jolly impressive. He's got white boots on for starters, and that would impress me any day of the week.
And his socks are down.
Yeah. Just inside the 10-metre line, and he's
Nailed
put
it.
it not quite right down the middle, but it was in between the two posts, closer to the left post as he would have looked at it. And either way, you cut the cake. It's 3-0 to Edinburgh, almost now against the run of play. The first 10 minutes, 12 minutes was absolutely all Edinburgh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the Blues kind of soaked it up. rolled away from their own half and had been threatening themselves, actually missed the kick themselves. I don't know who kicked that. Anybody?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure there'll be some sort of official website that would tell us that type of thing. We'll know in the second half who's doing the kicking because I'll be able to see his numbers.
And hopefully the Blues will be attacking down this
end.
end.
We would hope. So from the restart, Edinburgh make it easy work of gathering the restart, and Matthew Morgan comes down with it on about halfway. Quickly gobbled up by the advancing Edinburgh defence, and the Blues spin it across the field. That's a great tackle on. Is that Ollie Robinson?
That was Ollie Robinson, yeah. Great angle. Seb Davis.
Yeah, that is a good angle by Seb Davis. He's starting to hit the sort of form that we'd been hoping for him.
I was talking to Mr. Robert Norsh about Seb Davis.
Okay. He's a guy
how much he's all of a sudden started to put himself about the park a bit. And I don't think there's any coincidence, that Dai Young's come back and probably just had a little word because he's a big lump, and
he is a big boy.
He's starting to play like that now.
And there's talk of him being like, he was a bit of a 5.5, wasn't he? Were they talking, playing
4, 5, 6. Well, he's been capped, hasn't he? 8.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be your downfall when you're not sort of given a position to commit to. And
oh my goodness! I don't know how to describe that.
I missed that.
Well,
so try and describe it.
So I think I can't even see who it is. Is it Magnus Bradbury? The one of the Edinburgh players has just
Bill Matter.
Absolutely. Was it Big Bill? Was it?
I think it's Bill Matter.
Well, someone just rinsed. Is it Jamie Harris?
Yeah,
Jason Harris.
Harris
On the right wing. I don't think there's anything in it other than.
He's having a look at it. He's having a look at it.
Is he? Well, we can't see
They're
it.
looking at the screen, but we
can't
can't see
quick,
the screen.
run out and have a look.
I can't see it.
It just looks. Who's on? Quick next door.
No, there's no TV there.
Oh, they got no TV.
No, I don't think so.
Oh no. It just looked brutal. It looked like one of those big hits, big hit clips that you'll see on a highlight reel.
Technically,
where
Joanne Howe says he was smashed.
He kind of looked like he had his giblets exposed, taking a high ball, and he was just cleaned out by the biggest man in the history of the sport, possibly the biggest man who's ever lived. He just looks huge.
He did well to hold back his pre-match meal there, I think.
But he also took him about 5 feet from where he hit him into touch.
He took him into the North Terrace.
So I'm absolutely delighted about that because it didn't look malicious. It just looked like I've got you. I've got you, fella. Wow. Just wow. And fair play to him if he's got up from that.
He's probably still trying to find his 12th rib somewhere.
He's probably looking to find out who the hell it was that threw him that pass.
Yeah.
And say, what on earth have I ever done to you?
You're off the Christmas list.
What have I ever done to you, you expletive deleted? you just need to see it. I think I was actually quite worried about it.
That'll be on social media at some point, won't it? It'll be like Monday hitting you like this or something like that.
Yeah, this be like your day be like this.
Surely
somehow,
3 points.
Somehow we got a penalty. Certainly not from it's a penalty about 10 metres to the right of the post, and Jared Evans is very, very purposefully stepping up to kick it. I think that'd be a question mark of mine over Jared Evans. Is as a 10, if he's going to be kicking for the Blues, I think he needs to pick that up a bit. There's been a couple of times he's hit the post. Do they aim for the post sometimes, goal kickers? And if they aim for the post to bring it inside, if that's their...
It depends, what shape they are. I agree. I think, your kicker, you want him to be a 90%er,
Well, he needed to kick that one that he missed because it was well within what you would expect to be kicked. It's 3 each. We're in the 26th minute of this game. The intensity, a little bit like the France-Wales game on Saturday night. The intensity's dropped just a touch.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
because it can't carry on at that pace forever. And the Blues have somehow, in a chuckle-headed way, and I wish I had a pound for every time I've ended up discussing this, either at international level or the old Celtic League level, is how often Welsh teams give away penalties immediately after they've scored. Because that 3 points now is potentially could be rubbed out, but the Edinburgh team are fancying it.
Yeah, into the corner.
They're fancying it.
10 metres out, not as tight as he probably wanted to go.
And when you've got a back row with big Kunavula in it and Bill Matter, then you just don't. I can't imagine how you're going to be able to defend pick and goes from 5 metres with those two coming. Jason Harries, interestingly, has positioned himself behind the ruck.
Yeah.
Hoping nothing comes his way.
Good initial.
Good deep. Edinburgh have it. And it's been so far. It's been effectively managed until it was Valense, the hooker, that peeled away. There's a penalty advantage coming because he was completely isolated.
Jenkins. We talk about he had his head. Fair play to him.
Unbelievable.
There's no other injury that I can think of, no other player that's ever come back from a long injury like that with not that apprehension and has just managed to get his game straight back up to that level.
I'm not sure we can rule out completely exclude he's a bit dopey
It's not that.
possibility, given that he's got a lump of tape around his head that's serving out no useful purpose whatsoever. It's not even bringing his ears. It's not even putting his ears to the side of his head. I don't know what he's got.
He must have a little cut on his head or something.
Maybe. But he always wears that tape on his head, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah.
It's not stopping a cauliflower ear.
I don't know. Could be. Cardiff defending a line out from the penalty. So they won a penalty. We should describe how they managed to very, very competently deal with the threat of the Edinburgh driving maul. They positioned it well, and then the hook, they moved it to the back. The hooker burst through. As the Blues were pushing the driving maul backwards, the hooker disengaged and burst through, and he isolated himself. Josh Turnbull he's missed that one, but he never ever fails to offer himself up for a load of work. But that was big Aroni Sow regathering the kick, running through Turnbull on that occasion. But Turnbull's picked himself up, dusted himself down, got himself back.
Put him down.
There's a penalty advantage coming. So the Blues
keep coming up.
That's Ellis Jenkins. Read that like a absolute book. But I don't think Edinburgh really were planning on fashioning much more out of it than that.
Somebody offside? Was it offside? Oh no, not rolling away. There's a couple of soft penalties now coming into it.
Well, they do, don't they? That tends to be what happens. Is that everyone's up, they're disciplined, they're listening, they're talking, chat. And then I remember being a PE student up at King Coyd, and there was a book called Skill in Sport by Barbara Knapp, page 53. When fatigue sets in, skill goes out the window, and everything does. As soon as you're knackered, you make mistakes, and you just don't put yourself in the right position. I think it was Barbara Knapp. Skill in Sport. It used to be a standing joke.
Scarlets.
Scarlet
scored.
Update. Have they?
Here's another question. If Blues were to go out tomorrow and recruit 2 quality players, which positions do you think will be best filled to further develop and take our game forward?
Interesting question, that.
Second row.
But we're just talking about Sam Davis, and I think Thornton's been one of the most improved players of the Blues this year. But yeah, that's where the Blues lack. I mean, I'd say 2 second rows.
Yeah,
go and get 2 massive ball-carrying second rows.
Imagine a Tag Burn or something like that.
Yeah, and we could do some damage in this league.
And then sometimes as well.
I mean, Ellis Jenkins. Don't forget, we've got Josh Navidi to come back into this at some point. We've got both of them. We've got Ollie Robinson. We've got Ellis Jenkins can play 8, 7, so you can stick him anywhere. I think the 2 positions that we really need to fill.
Oh, here we go.
As Edinburgh come and score. That was a good try. Do you want to talk me through that?
Well, again, I think it's just the speed of the ball at the ruck. You know, we're doing our best to fold round. There's some good yards, hit early doors, and then we're just struggling to fold round. They've just got numbers, and then inevitably it's a mismatch. I don't know who was the inevitable scorer, but just got on the outside of our hip and couldn't get there on the push.
I think it looks like it was the fullback who came into the line to take it ultimately. He scored it a little bit easy for me.
Yeah.
The final scoring, you know, sort of taking it on. He was running on a bit of a wide arc through, never looked like the dummy. So he threw it, but you know, I never felt he was going to do anything other than straighten and have a crack himself.
It's that speed of ball. We've got to slow that speed of ball down at the breakdown. So that's either defence off the first phase, so, you know, competing at the line and disrupting the line or the scrum, and then getting that first phase hit. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. If they're getting the ball that fast, we're not going to be able to fold and keep up with it.
I suppose that brings us back to, I don't know if we ever finished. We have so many interesting discussions tonight. Did we ever finish talking about how Wales badly managed the, you know, and what is the key to not giving away yellow cards when you're desperate to stop that, you know, you're desperate to stop that next ball, that next, you know, necessarily the speed of it. I can't even remember. Like I said, the Liam Williams yellow seemed to be a long way, you know, about 20 yards out, wasn't it? Or
I was about on the 10-metre line, about 40 metres
yeah,
out.
it was a long way. Why? So what, you know?
So I think it was just, I think at that time, Wales had given, what, 10 penalties away? And I think it's just the accumulation of it all. And then it looked quite cynical the way it happened, but they didn't show the replays. You couldn't really.
No, I didn't
look
see
at
it. I didn't see I didn't see what he did in real time. I didn't see the replay. Oh, the Blues are. Ooh, they need to just
a bit in second gear, didn't it?
Yeah, they need to just sort of
miscommunication.
Either in second gear, I'm not sure what they were.
Yeah,
and then went through with it, even though it was. Now they're having a little chat with one another, and fingers are being run through hair in that sort of, you know, not that I would know what that feels like, but
sometimes, you know, when it gets,
their heads are being scratched, and
when the game's a bit frenetic as well, sometimes you just got to remember, how do we get back to our game plan? So what was our game plan? You know, we've got to win set piece. We're going to use our centres to hit up. You know, I think Ben was probably just dancing, went a little bit lateral, and probably Josh was offering himself and then thought he'd gone too far to be able to receive it, and then Ben gave it to him anyway.
Yeah. Just trying to get the
Scarlett's tried disallowed. Length of the field tried Connaught and 19 to 5 up, but that's irrelevant unless we get into the.
My goodness,
unless we get into the front.
Yeah, well, unless you're exactly right. Unless the Blues do something about it, then that score is as of nothing.
What other position would you? Like, you could always strengthen your front row.
Well, I think you could, but I think if you got Rhys, you know, we've got enough. Yeah. We've got Dylan Lewis. We've got enough Welsh internationals and international props in your front row for someone like Dai Young to get hold of and work with. I think our hookers are, you know, there's reasonable depth there. I think we've got back row to die. You know, we've got such choices of back row.
One other thing with the back row though is you can't get away from having an out and out 8, like a Xavier Rush, like a Nick Williams.
So maybe
like a Nick Williams going back.
You could
Toby Faletau.
But you could go for an 8 and a really good second row and hope. Oh, you know, so a big busting 8 that carries as well, and defends, and a big busting second row that does that job as well.
Yeah,
and then I suppose that'd be good. Then they could bring along Thornton and Ratty and Seb Davis. Halfbacks, you got Thomas Williams, you got Lloyd. Lloyd. I suppose Lloyd's coming to the end.
31. He's got.
Yeah, you got a bit to go.
Probably a little bit of strength and depth. I think.
Jared Evans, we got Ben Thomas, so we got good halfbacks.
Yeah.
We got
Rhys
Willis Halaholo to come back. We got Priestland coming back. Halaholo. We got Ray Lilo. We got Josh Adams to come back in on one win. We got Hallam Amos. So the backs, the backs are not the problem. They never are here, are they?
No.
It has been for
always
such a long time.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, ball carriers.
Be a good question to ask Dai Young that. but then he wouldn't give you a straight answer.
Of course he wouldn't.
That's a great kick.
He's a
that is.
coach.
He has absolutely nailed that. Pressure again on the Blues.
We're in the 35th minute. The Blues are just struggling to break away, and it started Edinburgh, then it went back to the Blues for about 5-10 minutes. Now the last 10 minutes it's gone Edinburgh again, and the Blues need to be careful here, because I think another score here,
and any score in the last 5 minutes of a half
is going to be difficult to come back from.
Just change.
So that the line-out is being driven, and it's looking worrying for the Blues, although they've managed to sack it and get it down.
So he's given a penalty.
Now there's a penalty for dropping it illegally. Shake your head, ref. Your eyes are stuck. Nigel Owens or not. So I can't see quite who it is he's pinged.
Belcher.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. It was either him or Ollie Robinson. Try Scarlets 1912.
Okay. The try scorer was George Taylor for Edinburgh. That I can confirm. So he was the inside centre, receiving the ball very quickly and gobbling it up. Curiously enough, Edinburgh have decided they're going to go for the line out and not kick the penalty.
Their setup's been
It's been won beautifully by Davidson. Now it's come down very quickly, and the referee's happy with that one. So it's ruck ball 3 meters out from the Blues line, and it's going to be a Blues scrum. And we will live to breathe a sigh of relief. This is the game management. This is the area of the field now. Blues got the ball. How are we going to get out of here? The most important thing is that we get out of here now and do not concede in the next 3 minutes.
Yep.
To my mind, it would be, let's see. I mean, Nigel Owens is one of the most experienced ref. Well, he's the most experienced ref in world rugby, isn't he?
Yeah.
Currently. So it's going to be hard for Rhys Gill and our hip to drop a scrum, but they could get away with one, couldn't they? Couldn't they get away with it?
Wouldn't risk it here. Eight pickup.
But just in setting now, just on the on the bind. Oh, sorry, ref, I missed. My arm slipped, and it's
the dark arts.
Missed. It's just cheating.
That's the dark arts of the front row.
So it's come down. Well, we'll have that one again.
Here we go.
So that's exactly what we're talking about. Well done.
Every point at each other.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's him.
Sorry, ref, my foot slipped. Got these blades. I'm not used
it's
to
pretty
wearing
muddy
them.
underneath.
I'm not used. Yeah, you can't be doing the old. But I'm just pulling the mud out of the boots.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be good to see that one day, though. Somebody on here.
Just having a pull. Got to
get the rubber crumb.
So now it's 37 minutes. So that's a minute. A minute has been eaten up doing this. I agree with you. They can't do it again. They risk a penalty.
Yeah.
And they haven't dropped any other scrum, so I'm utterly convinced that was done deliberately. Look, he's higher this time, our hip. So the scrum is on the 5 metre line, 7 metres in from touch. I'm not sure what Charlie Shield thinks he's doing there. And now,
there we go.
Absolutely beautiful. As it goes, the referee has given the Blues a penalty. I don't know what for. They dropped, so they're hinging. He's doing Leroy Atalif. I can't pronounce it. Atalifo. Leroy. So Lee-Roy, not Leroy.
Okay.
Lee-Roy Atalifo. That's a cool name.
That is good name.
They got lots of cool names.
I wouldn't be rushing to this lineup, boys.
No, because we're now in the 38th minute as of now. And so just get it, a little bit of chugging. Oh, they've overthrown it. Oh, dear God alive. It's like, why do I support the Blues and Leeds United?
Good it.
Just makes life so hard. It could be so much easier, couldn't it? Just,
Oh, put him down.
Oh, he's big.
He is big.
And he's coming. And there's bigger to come. Big Bill Mattek. Now he's gone beyond it. It's actually been a bit quiet, Bill Mattek, when he wasn't knocking.
Keep pushing.
That's a great press. Lloyd Williams has really run up in the outside fringes there and put huge pressure, forcing the Edinburgh outside backs to cut back inside. Big Bill Mattek there playing as a pivot in midfield. And then Kunavulu. Also a little hitch kick.
Go.
It's picked up by Josh Turnbull. The ball was knocked forward. Referee Nigel Owens
Knocked on by
is
who?
doing the Macarena.
Which way is he
knock
pointing?
on? Well, it's got to be a knock on by
Edinburgh.
against. Yeah, it's got to be a knock on against the Blues. Otherwise, he wouldn't be bringing it back because big bad Josh Turnbull would have been away.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thank you. Every now and then, even the sun shines on the dog's backside every now and then.
Blues got to make it to half time now. No more points.
Just make it so hard, though, don't they? The 38th minute tick down. They got a line out just about on halfway, and they overthrow the bloody thing.
Didn't need to throw a back ball there.
Didn't. Not going for the not going to score.
No. Just hit
Makes
the front man, drive it a little bit.
Yeah.
Hit up midfield, kick for the touchline, let it grub it through. Game. Half time. Go in, have a 10 minutes break.
And then they'd be coming to us. Second half. It's been a funny old season, isn't it? I mean, this is the third. I think I've worked with you on these more than anybody else. It got off to a flying start. The first game we did, we've only done the home game as well, bizarrely. I don't know why we haven't done the away games. That seems a bit odd. It seems perfectly suited for away games. Yeah. We could be anywhere doing a live stream of the away games. But the point I'm making is that start to beat Connor. I just thought, that's brilliant. And the way in which they beat them, big defence. The defence on times this season has been epic.
Amazing.
And then on other times, it's been like, Well,
I think if you look through the stats early part of the year, Josh Turnbull, his tackling numbers were unreal. And then you look at Botham and Robinson, both of their numbers are really high. You don't want to go through the whole season just with high tackling numbers. We've got to
No. You want to be,
that around
at some point, you want to be, so I was talking about how brilliant you are as a tackler. That's a really good, really, Nige?
Wheeling.
Really? Really? Did we really come up on them?
Are they going to go for touch? Because you've still got to play it.
I mean, if they score from here now, I'm going to be so grumpy.
They'll go for post, won't they?
They ought to. No, they're not. They're going to go for the corner.
Interesting.
Why wouldn't they go for the corner now when they went for the corner 10 minutes ago? Josh Turnbull has spotted something he doesn't like. I don't know. Is
the
it
water on?
The water boy. They brought well spotted, Josh. So they are going to go for the posts. I didn't know that. So if you've brought the kicking tee on, you've got to use it, have you?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
Ref, he's got the kicking tee there. He's got the kicking tee, ref. I've never. Ref, he's got the kicking tee.
Does somebody watching know if there's a rule like that? Can somebody Google it quickly?
If you bring the kicking tee on, you have to use it. Because the water boy seemed to pull it out of his pocket.
Right, Rhys, you probably don't remember me. I'm always worried when but I met you in the clubhouse at CAP during the 2019 World Cup.
You were wearing a pink carnation.
I think it was when we lost to South Africa, but you were good enough to stop for a photo after the game.
Oh.
Cheers, Simon. He's missed.
He has missed it. Well, let off, I think, is what they say. It's a let off. So, talking points, Lions. We haven't got to do that yet. The summary, though, of the game so far of Cardiff versus Edinburgh, that we are watching live on Matchday live stream brought to you by the Blues. Ricochet, your host, Rhys Williams, our guest, sponsored by Aspen Waite Wales and Uber Eats.
Hopefully,
I think Uber Eats will be arriving shortly. So it's not a great time to be asking you questions while you're shoving a quarter pounder of cheese in your boat race. But I believe that's what's coming from Uber Eats. So look,
hang on.
Give me.
Oh,
here is the man from Uber Eats. I wonder what we have tonight from Uber. There's a lot in it. There's a load. There's an axe.
It smells amazing.
What we got?
Burgers.
Oh, hang on, there's loads there.
Some burgers, we play fries and some salad, I think.
Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Caesar salad. Looks and Dorby.
Caesar salad.
Caesar salad, is it?
Got a Caesar salad again.
But obviously, I'll be going for the Caesar salad. Bit more Caesar salad.
again.
That's
What are you
yours,
having? Harry, are you going to have some
you
Caesar
have that.
salad, or are you going to go for?
And some sauce as well. Any sauce?
Oh, I've got myself some mayonnaise to go.
This is
with
my
the
second
chips.
meal tonight. This is.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, I haven't had tea
What's the
tonight.
No,
I was
fine.
still at work tonight at 11 o'clock because it's so busy with general practice at the moment. I thought I was going to be late for this. 6:45, I left Ely.
Yeah.
We'll probably need some serviettes as we
There you
sit
go, Harry.
and eat our burger. Cheers, Harry. I'm going to let you summarise that game for us. Highlights of it. We mentioned that it sort of toed and froed a bit. I think,
Yeah.
I suppose, the Edinburgh on the balance of play. Let's have a look at the stats. Go on. I'll call up the stats.
Okay.
Because when you're an interested supporter, sometimes you don't see it. I'd say that's how I saw it. So possession reasonably even. It's got Edinburgh 56-44. Clean breaks 2 each.
Yeah.
That's reasonably well. That is even.
That's the big stat.
Defenders beaten. 15-9.
Yeah.
The Blues have out offloaded. 75 tackles to 69, 15 missed tackles to 9, 83% tackle success. So that would be where the defenders beaten.
Any penalties on that?
Penalties, kicking meters,
penalties and errors. Here we go.
So that's
6-5.
even 6-5.
Stats are pretty even in all fairness.
Yeah.
I think been a quick start. Wasn't it? Quick start.
Whoa.
Handling's been good. Intensity's been good. Just think it's lacked a bit of accuracy really from the Blues. When we've had the ball, a little knock on here. Just hasn't looked as fluent as Edinburgh have looked really with the ball in hand. Handling's been crisp, but we haven't really had. Even though the possession is 56-44, you wouldn't say that it's felt like we've been attacking a lot in the Edinburgh half. I wonder if we've had it more sort of around the halfway line, whereas we've definitely watched more of the game.
I agree. I don't think we've pounded their line.
No.
I don't think they pounded our line much, but the one time they got within cooey of it, with quick ball, they went over quite quickly. They've had a couple. No, they've had more than a couple. They've had about four
lineouts,
really close attacking lineouts, which on every occasion the Blues have done well to negate. Although they have conceded penalties that have led to them coming again.
Yeah.
But the on the balance of play, I suppose, is just that. I mean, we're not creating an awful lot, which is paradoxical, isn't it? When we're talking about how much better the Blues have been defensively, but creatively, we haven't really opened much. I think the one thing that I do believe we are very lateral. Now, I don't know if that's just because we what we are certainly not doing is going through as many phases as Edinburgh when they've got the ball, and so it's quick. So we're moving. I think particularly our half, particularly Jared is on a couple of times he's just been very lateral and throwing passes in, and it would seem very very easy for the Edinburgh defence just to push it.
It'll be interesting to know where the Blues are looking to attack, because sometimes, if you're looking to attack that 13 channel, but you don't actually do the basics of straightening first, you've got to always earn the right to go wide.
So they say.
So you've got to straighten up. You've got to fix early, and that's what the Blues have done on a couple of occasions. Remember, hit a few times to get to the right hand side, and then forced Edinburgh to try and fold on the way back, which has then given us the width. Now to keep that width there, because it can go pretty quickly with two lateral passes, because they just fold across or they'll just drift across. So you've got to get and fix and straighten. So there might be a little bit of the runners getting out into position earlier and then hitting the ball a little bit straighter. So you're running with the length of the pitch rather than going across it a little bit more. So then that you hold that width and that stays realistic then for the outside guys. Because Matthew Morgan's done great under the high ball, counter attack, once or twice, and then maybe did too well and got himself isolated on that one occasion. But I'd like to see the Blues just play maybe a little bit of territory early on, get the ball into the Edinburgh half, and then just start building the phase plays again.
I mean, I suppose that is the stats will tell you that the 56-44. It's not quite split down the middle a la Brexit, but it's pretty close, isn't it? There's no like clear dominance there. There's
It'll be interesting on where in the field those the stats are.
And the number of phases. That's
the
one thing we haven't seen. So I do think that's an area that Edinburgh have had. The longer you keep the ball, and the harder you make your opposition work, then the better it's going to be for you in the long run. You really are eating the salad first.
I am eating the salad.
I just want to have a go at the burger.
How's the chips, Rick?
They're all right.
Rick, you're live.
They're all right. I'll let you know how the burger is now. This is purely professional, just to promote the Uber Eats brand. I'm taking no pleasure from this at all, and frankly, I resemble the implication. Resent.
This is my second and third meal of the night. I will. Right, should we do the Lions? So, when we go through Saturday's team and say yes or no, rather than
Lions squad,
touring squad.
Okay.
So Win
Evans, Gliminette. Okay. Based on Saturday's performance, I'm going to put him as so it's yes or no. I'll probably say no. I don't think he's probably done enough throughout the whole tournament. But he certainly put his hand up on.
I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a shout. I just wonder. You just don't know what they're thinking of Gats.
No, you don't. You're absolutely right. You don't. And he might take him. And based on that performance, in the biggest game of his life, then that might swing it. But I just think maybe on balance, I mean, who's he up? He's going to go against Vunipola.
Yeah.
I can't think of the Scots boy. He's quite a tidy player. It's not Ferguson. Ferguson's a tight head.
Tag Furlong.
No, Furlong. Well, Furlong's a tight
Cian
head.
Healy.
Cian Healy is off the bench now, isn't he? I mean, he could be there. I mean, I haven't got anyway. Let's rattle through. We can't spend more time.
Sheriff.
The sheriff goes.
You're on live, eh?
Yeah, we're on live.
We're on, yeah.
That's what I'm really
Pop
sorry.
in, Dick. Have a bite of my cheeseburger.
Oh, no, I'm on that.
Dickie Holland, Chief Executive of Cardiff Blues. Your diet's looking well. I wish I could.
What was it score? 1912?
33-12.
To
Connacht. Yeah.
So we'll get a result here tonight.
Our watchers are letting us down here. They're supposed to be keeping us informed.
I can go into the game centre.
Your watchers.
Our watchers.
We have some viewers.
They have been keeping us
You're not supposed to be
updated.
informing them.
We have some. Well, we can't inform them of the game that's happening in the Scarlet Land.
33-12. Well, 7 points.
And a bonus point. Obviously, 4 tries in that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the points difference are. As long as we win here, we're
I'll have one more bite of the cheeseburger.
third. But,
Right.
Anyway,
We've got to win then.
So we do.
There's no wind out there, is there?
No,
Take it
it's
away.
cold. Nothing. It's still very, very benign.
Okay.
So we like coming this way though, towards the crowds in the flats.
Yeah.
It's,
It's
Oh,
downhill.
there's some up there.
you probably couldn't hear them. They were heckling earlier.
Well,
Yeah, they shouted when the Edinburgh Kickers. There's literally no crowd. Everyone's shouting, "Get on with it!"
How many people are there?
I don't know. 20 or 30. Not the no crowd. There's somebody heckling.
It's the highest attendance of the year.
I certainly hope they're socially distanced. I wouldn't want us to get.
Anyway, good to see you, chaps.
See you in a bit.
Thank you, Dickie. Right, so the sheriff goes.
Yeah.
Tom Francis. I don't think so. He might not.
Yeah.
Alan Wynne definitely goes.
Definitely.
There's a lot of good second rows.
Yeah.
A lot of them are Irish. I think interestingly, Maro Itoje, who was arguably the greatest of all of them at the start. If you
Yeah,
had to
to put
say
your money on.
it, then I don't think he's become a bad player overnight. I think people have focused on him a little bit too much, but he didn't have a great game against England, against Wales.
No.
And that's about the size of it. So in a big high pressure game, he had a poor game.
But he's
his
a
very
Gatland
high standards.
type of player, isn't he?
So I think if Alan Wynne and Itoje and any number of about 3 or 4 Irish could go off the back of that. Back row's a nightmare.
So Tips goes.
He has
Faletau goes.
But Tips goes just because he can cover all the midfield backs and wingers as well. I mean, I thought Faletau was finished. I genuinely thought.
But
before this last 2 or 3 I thought, I think he's just been battered too much, and he's lost. He's still a quality footballer, and he'll always have that because he's such a good footballer. In the same way as Billy Vunipola maybe isn't, and Billy V is a diminished force, I think, because you are in each passing year when you play that style of smash and you just can't do it anymore. Look at Jamie Roberts. Eventually it took its toll on Jamie. But a couple of seasons off, and he's arguably playing.
He's playing some of his best rugby.
Yeah, because you just can't put yourself through that relentless treadmill of 12 test matches in a year and still bounce back up again. So we haven't even picked the pack, and they're back out for the second half. So quickly then.
Okay, Faletau goes.
I'd say Faletau goes. Tips goes.
Navs.
Well,
I'd say he's got to go.
I'd say he has as well. But we're all biased.
Exactly.
And there'd be any number of Irish people that would say no, he can't. I think Curry's a good player. But I think as the tournament went on, the less effective the English back row looked, and also they didn't have Underhill, and he is the best back row forward.
They don't have the balance like we do in Wales. We have a good balance in the back row at the minute.
And Sam Underhill became so important to the way that they played as well. So he's a huge miss for England.
Okay, let's go backs quickly. Thomas Williams, I think, goes over Gareth Davis if he can play.
Pick a load of Welsh scrum halves.
Does Dan Bigger go? Yes.
I mean, on Saturday's form, he goes and he's captain, and he's a test, and he starts in the test. I think that might be one of the criticisms of Pivac. You shouldn't have taken Bigger off in a game of that magnitude.
Especially when you take away the other experience as well. 10
no,
Owens went off at the same time.
That's no disrespect to Callum Sheedy. And I don't think he lost us the game either. I'm not suggesting that, but I just think we needed game management, and we lacked it. I'm on the salad now, all right. I'm on the salad, just to appease you all. I've loved the chicken cheeseburger on your back.
Right. Penalty, interesting. Didn't go for post, kick for corner.
We'll come back to the rest of the backs in a minute.
Same to what Edinburgh did to us.
So at the minute we've got 1 to 15, so the entire squad are in, I think.
Yeah, so far.
At the minute. Seb Davis wins the line out. It's crabbing. It's now on the 15-metre line. It's made no yard forward, but the pack have splintered away. Somehow, one Edinburgh player on his own managed to stop
There's one stuck
the entire drive. I think it was Luke Crosby.
Here we go.
They peel off again. That's looking borderline illegal.
Right.
Now they've managed to get behind it. Liam Belcher's on the floor. It is precisely on the 5-metre line. The first contingent, the first pod, which included Rhys Gill, that's like what they call it, a conga line. It's not a long ruck, it's a conga line. There are about 5 of them. Look, they've done it again. And they pick and they go, and they're led by Josh Turnbull. We've made no forward yardage at all. This time Thornton goes. Makes about an inch. Moving further and further to the right. Folding and folding. Yeah. Edinburgh are offside. Nigel Owens has paid the penalty.
Have a go now.
Have a go, because it's a shot to nothing, isn't it? Ray Lilo is calling for it. Josh Turnbull has picked up and go, even if we get in, I have to stand up to be able to see if they cross the line or
So
not.
what do we do here now?
Um,
Take the points. Scrum.
it's 10-3. Yeah, you take the points. You take the points.
I think they are.
You take the points. Now,
Their body language is not saying taking the points.
Ellis Jenkins has taken his headband off. Jared Evans has signalled to the post, I think, and Nigel Evans has said he's going for the post. You've taken you've gone for the what they call it, a naked burger. Is it
I've
when
gone
you
for a
take-
naked burger because I've
when you take the back away.
yeah.
Okay. I've gone all super pious and just gone for the Caesar salad.
Lovely.
Bit of iceberg lettuce, really. Jared Evans, without breaking stride, has made it 10-3. I mean, we really are set up. The season's on the line here now.
Yeah. What's the score now? Down
In Scarlet Land, I'll have a look at the match centre, sponsored by Guinness on the Pro 12. The match centre
Pro
tells
14.
us Pro 14. Yeah, it used to be 12 back in the old days.
we should have a down note as
33.
well.
They did
33-12.
33-12.
That game was gone, isn't it? Famous last words.
Wow, you'd a bit like
Look
me
at this.
saying, "Oh my God, there he goes, Big Matter."
Oh, look at it.
Who took him? Seb Davis, was it? Or was it Thornton?
Thornton.
Thornton and our
Hip.
hip had a go at him.
Little
Speed bumped him a bit, yeah,
John
and then
special.
and then Thornton
Ooh,
wrapped
he's
him
hurt
up.
as well.
Who, Thornton or Big Matter?
Big
Oh, he
Matter.
is. He's limping. We've done for him. Now, Damien Hoyland
That's
at
gonna go
full
down the
back
middle.
comes up and gathers a Blues kick. Oh, and I
Take it in
think
the
that's
air?
going to be a penalty. Surely he was in the air when he took him. Nope. Oh, nice little step, and Jared Evans half through a gap. That was the threat that he brought so much at the start of the season
Yeah.
and much in last season. We haven't seen much of it in the latter part of the season. Or certainly not the games I've watched.
Ooh.
Now,
Head injuries.
the Watermen are on
I think Nigel stopped the game there for a
because of the
collision in the air.
Big Bill Matter.
is struggling.
He's doing the dead fly on the. He's on his back, legs in the air, on the junction of the 15-meter and the 10-yard line in the Blues half, receiving attention to what looks like a niggle to his ankle. The big fella Andrew Davidson, the big blonde lock, is getting a bit of a.
Guess who's watching? Guess who's on? Paul Tito.
Was he? Fish. The fish.
Fish.
Surely not.
He's saying stop eating, Rhys Williams, because he knows I like to eat.
Oh yeah. You look like you like to eat.
I do
these.
like it.
So the fish is watching this via Facebook, this live stream via Facebook.
Via
Good
Facebook.
evening to you
Watching live from Poe.
in Poe.
Hmm.
Magnificent. Wonderful,
Right.
isn't it? The miracle of modern technology,
I know.
what you can do, the people you can hook up with.
Especially because it's quite late for him over there. He's was it 10 o'clock over there? Fish. He should
Yeah,
be in
would
bed
be.
by now and sleep. Loves his sleep. See, only man I know who
Would you
used to
like
have
a
like, oh, loves a kip. Would have a midday sleep and a mid-afternoon sleep.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes 2 sleeps a day. Just keeping his locks growing. Oh, am I? Oh, Tito. Right, should we go through the rest of the back line?
Don't provoke him. All right, so
So Big is in.
we've got 3 Welsh scrum halves in the squad, haven't we? We've got Gareth Davis, Thomas Williams, and Hardy.
So Bigger goes.
Bigger goes, starts 10 and captain.
Does John Fox go?
Wow, I can't. I mean, he had a good game, but I can't. I mean, he's a
Some
great.
good centres are in there. You got Henshaw, you got
Henshaw's
Farrell.
good player. I think Henshaw. I don't think Farrell's go. Depends
Farrell's going.
it depends what sort of football you want to play, and Gatlin doesn't. Gatlin will play the sort of football where you can implement Farrell.
Yeah.
But he's going to take him as a 10 or a 12. Farrell's days at 10. He hasn't played 10 for a little while, has he? Here come the Blues coming down the 5-meter channel. Now there's a bit of Oh,
Here we
that's a
go.
nice
Now
little
give it.
wrap around. Now Jared
again.
delays the pass. Ray Lilo has got lots and lots of space. He comes in off his right foot. It's bigger Ronnie Sow that tries to strip it from him, but this is good. Quick ball. Oh, Lloyd Williams
Pin your ears
shows
back,
it and
right?
goes. Oh, what sort of a pass was that? That was a disaster. I can't believe it. It was one of the best. Oh, yeah.
Was one of the Edinburgh players calling it then?
I don't know
Has he
what
run
was
inside
going
him?
on. He passed it. Well, there was. I can't remember who it was.
I think he just
Someone was screaming up, but the pass just went nowhere near anyone. It's one of these times you go, guys, what
Yeah.
you're watching, we do need the replays here. We'll try and paint the picture for you as this ball doesn't go out to play, because that type of thing doesn't happen anymore, does it?
How did Lloyd make it through then?
Well, it was just quick ball, like when Edinburgh had quick ball.
Yeah.
That the guard hadn't formed up. And we'll come back to it now, because Edinburgh are looking to counter-attack from the turnover,
Holding him up.
and so we're going to get a scrum from here now,
Scrum.
because that's the blindside one. You just
That's
got to give
not
it to
going
us
down.
now. Well, you can't pull it down now, because that would be collapsing the maul,
Come
and
on,
that
mate.
then becomes a penalty.
Scrum. Our ball. Easy.
He hadn't signalled it yet. Yes, he has. Right. So the ball had gone quickly out to Ray Lilo, who'd made the break. He'd come in off his right foot, in between two defenders, and then the ball was there presented. Whoever it was for the Blues got there quickly and cleared out and presented it for Lloyd Williams, who came back the other way. There was no defence set. There was no guard. There was no one waiting for it, because it was good quick ball. So he picked it up. He threw the show and go. He saw
Straight
that
through.
there was a big hole to go through.
And that's probably
And that
why there
was
was
about
nobody
there.
with him.
Well, that was about the 10-metre line. Then he straightened and was running sort of towards the try line between the 15-metre line and the post. There was a fullback coming across. There were a lot of Edinburgh shirts there, but somebody was hairing up. There was someone on that right shoulder, but it looked like he threw a blind pass. It was a rubbish pass.
Yeah. I just wonder whether one of the
Somebody
Edinburgh players
got
were
a call.
calling. Yeah.
Here, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Who's man?
I'm
I'm
on your
here.
right.
I'm here, Lloyd. Although most of them would do with the South African accent. I'm here, Lloyd. Give me the best, man.
I can't do accents so well.
You like our country, eh? He's good, huh? I'm not sure I can either.
Pretty
And I've
good.
now probably offended people. There'll be people. If I've offended anybody with a South African accent, please don't write to the Blues. It's all my fault entirely. Although they do keep inviting me back.
You finished you left all the green
I'll
stuff.
have the bit of egg. Take it away. Can you get another cup of coffee now? I like a nice coffee after dinner. I don't know about you, Rhys. Maybe a cognac.
Yeah, I do like a cognac.
Send him a text and see if he gets some coffee.
They're in box 32 it is. Right. Scrum.
Things like this, these are the tiny margins, aren't they?
Yeah.
That was a clear-cut line break, but it was from 40 metres out. So I wouldn't have expected Lloyd to score from there necessarily.
This is interesting. Have a look where their fullback is. Their fullback is already lined up outside the right winger here. The left wing is on the 5 metre line, so he's stood tight against the behind the scrum. He's asking a lot of his left winger to cover this big hole in here off first phase.
Okay. Yeah. Why is he out there? What are they expecting?
They're expecting Blues.
So
to
what's interesting about the way the Blues are? Nothing. They're very deep.
Yeah.
There's no way Ray Lilo is passing to Matthew Morgan.
No.
So I'd have thought everything is clearly coming down the 10, the 12, 13 channel here, isn't it?
Penalty, here we go.
The Blues have milked the penalty. Because curiously enough, and I'd love to have a discussion with Nigel. I know Nigel very well because he penalised the Blues for wheeling in the first half, and now he's penalised Edinburgh for wheeling in the second half. And
The dark arts.
Jared Evans either.
That's a great kick.
Well, that's beyond his range out there. Would you say?
I think that's just on his range. I reckon. That's 50 metre kick. He can hit that, but
Okay.
he's hit it to 6 meters out. Do the Blues need to win with a bonus point? No, we just need to
We
win.
just need to win. We can check in on our friends down west. The score there. I may need to refresh my page. Oh my God, I got a picture of Rhys Patchell. All right, Patch. What's Rhys Patchell doing?
Prince
there?
Harry doing over.
Yeah.
Oh, great front peel.
33-19. Scarlets got a try back, so it's not all over down at Park Scarlets, and it's not all over here either. As the
Here we go.
Blues
Bit of
pick and
patience
drive.
now, bit of
Right, we have to
patience.
get up and have a look at this
Go
because
on.
they're coming
Get him
to the
over.
clubhouse corner and they're about a yard short of the line. There's a big glare here. Peter Thomas has stood up in the chairman's box.
Our hips at the back now.
All the Edinburgh players lined
Deep.
up along the line. It's coming. Now it's coming back. Pick and go again. Surely that one's over.
Has that got down?
Nigel, is he there? He says.
Get your
he
head in
says
there,
it is.
Nigel. He says it's
He
try.
says it is a try. I think it's Kevin. It's Ellis Jenkins that scored it.
Ollie Robinson, I think.
No,
Or was it Belcher?
I've always given it to Ellis Jenkins. so
And
that
Seb Davis.
any one of them must have nicked it out of Ellis's hand as they were getting up because only Ellis can score. Such is my bias. Good.
Who?
Game on.
Who was the
Game
official
on.
try scorer?
We will find out.
Just loading.
We will find out now.
I think it was Ollie Robertson, but let's still check it.
The Pro 14.
33-26. You're kidding me.
No way.
You are kidding me. The Blues are that slow that I'm watching the game on fast forward so they look quicker.
33-24. So that's a kick. Was that a kick to come? Was
Yeah, must have been. 33-26.
it? It's on S4C, but we don't want it. We don't want
There's,
that.
how long's left? Do we know?
Wait.
What time was the kickoff?
Kicked off at the same
8
time
o'clock,
as
is
us.
it?
So Jared Evans is going to kick this one straight to me. If he
Yeah.
kicks this one right, it's going to come right into my arms. It's going to come right into my arms, and it would have. There. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Did you hear it? Beautiful kick, Jared, my boy. So that makes it 13, I think.
Stretches on.
13-10. Stretches on for whom? For one of the Edinburgh players, unfortunately.
Looks like there's a crime scene investigation there, actually. With
It does. A couple of boys in white. Either that or they're going to paint. Either a couple of decorators. They've got in white overalls.
Oh, it's not good when you.
Liam Belcher had the try, officially. Are they going to break play? They are going to break play.
Yeah, they have to, don't they?
Well, the reason
Oh, gas in there.
he's got his hands, he's lying on his back with his
That's his leg, isn't it?
hands, with his head in his hands, sort of cupping his head there. So it's a lower limb injury, do we think?
Yeah, he's got a leg brace out.
Yikes. Well, he'll be up the heath in no time. Go on then, back to the squad. So do you think Fox goes then, do you? What are the options? I don't think the English three quarters midfield. I don't think Ford will go.
Farrell goes.
What as a 12?
Or 10. He's got to play rugby though, isn't he?
But you got to say Finn Russell had a good tournament.
Yeah.
Sexton just played one of the best games I think I've seen him play.
And bigger.
Bigger. So you don't need Farrell anywhere near a 10 jersey.
So you move him to a 12.
Ever. I don't think you ever want to see Farrell anywhere near a 10 jersey. So you move him to 12.
You got Henshaw.
Henshaw, I think, goes for sure.
North.
I think. I'm just amazed with North because North can go and he can cover.
Yeah.
He can cover that 13 and the entire.
I do like Slade, but he just hasn't had an opportunity really.
I think he struggles because of the way England play, doesn't he? To often get himself into to sort of show what he can do. Who else is there? Scottish midfield has been good.
Yeah. I don't know whether
at the end of the day, Gannon will always pick those that he knows and those that he trusts.
He's always had Foxy, isn't he? Always.
Yeah. But then there's a point he always but he always knows when to let him go as well.
True.
There was a point where he let Nugget go, didn't he? There was a point that he let, there's a point he let Ryan Jones go. There's a point that he let Adam Jones go.
Yeah.
He saw when they were when they'd served their, the awful way to say it, but they'd served their useful purpose for him, and he no longer felt that they could deliver what they could deliver. Did he ever do that to Gethin, or did Gethin retire before?
No, Gethin got injured, didn't he, on that Lions, and then he struggled with his calf, didn't he? Right, back three. Liam Williams goes.
Every Welsh player
Josh Adams
goes. And Lewis Rhys has to go.
He has to go, doesn't he?
Yeah, Hogg has to be for. No, I'm not sure.
Hogg has to go.
Does he have to go? I don't know. You can certainly say Elliot Daly won't be going.
Right. Yeah.
Which is odd because he's the incumbent. He was the incumbent.
Especially with his left peg as well, which is instrumental in New Zealand.
Yeah. I think anyone listening to us will think we're just a pair of one. But Lewis Rhys Samet and Josh Adams were two of the best players in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Josh Adams has been a world-class winger, whichever game he plays for the past 2 years. His World Cup was outstanding. He
had a couple of games for the Blues early on the season. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember. Only just.
Happy times those were.
5th try for Scarlets.
You are kidding.
Is that another one?
You are having a giraffe.
Refresh that screen.
I'll have to. Wow, there's a delay on that. Who's updating us with the 5th try?
Because that doesn't work, does it? Because 26 points doesn't.
Score another one. So that makes it 33 all. With chance for it to be 33 all.
2 tries, and they just got one again. So I think it might be.
Here we go. Here's Ben. Here we go. Here's a chance.
Oh, Matthew Morgan, beautiful dummy, and he's over the halfway line.
Oh, and
it's a fantastic pass. He cuts back inside.
Keep going.
Go.
Great
up for Ray Lilo. Ray Lilo into the
Great
corner.
try.
Coming right down to us. That was wonderful.
Well. He's a Summerhill as well.
It is Ali Summerhill. I think it's not. I don't think it's a serious one. I think it's a dislocated finger or something.
No, he's holding his wrist. He is.
Do you think?
He's desperate to give a high five, but he can't.
He can't because he's.
Oh, he's hurt. Oh.
Didn't see it. We won't get to see a replay either. I hate it when we can't see the replays because some of these tries have been great.
Yeah.
So you think, hang on a minute, you're in the middle of Harry was in the middle of telling us there's 2 Scarlets tries.
Another one.
So they're now 39.
No, so I think it's going to be 33 all.
33 all, right.
Oh, it's all going off.
Well, what's happened to Connaught? Have they put the under 16s on for the last 20 minutes?
Didn't look good. Lloyd Williams. Is that Lloyd Williams down on the floor as well?
He's okay. Lloyd's looking all right. Well, I think Summerhill's going to have to go off. I mean, he's looking
in pain
in
there, doesn't he?
Profound discomfort.
And he's a tough kid. Yeah, he's in pain. We've got to come on. Hallam Amos.
Jared Evans in the meantime. Yeah, Hallam Amos, just that.
Great kick.
Just a few caps he's had, He's not a bad replacement,
Not a bad replacement.
Amos. Aled Summerhill is persisting. I'm confused by this because like I said, initially I thought, he's just dislocated a finger or something. But then if he's carrying on in that level of pain and he's done something to his wrist, then it must be like a subluxation injury or he's broken it. In which case he's got to come off. And whatever it is they're trying to do for him, it's not helping, is it?
It's not working. Oh. He's a tough kid.
Wow. But you can't play on with the displaced wrist, Oh. And if your finger comes out, you can pop it back in, you buddy strap it.
It's all right.
Wow. Okay. I'm fascinated. I really want to know what went on there. I don't think he's going to stay on for much longer.
Keep an eye on the bench.
And there's no real need for him to. Like you said, Matt Halimamos can come on.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to be kicking it to him.
Oh, he's a big lump.
Oh,
great tackle.
what a hit! Who
Great
was
tackle,
that?
Ollie Robinson.
Ollie
Great
Robinson.
tackle.
Well, I tell you, it's the classic example of the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and that there's more to rugby than just being a big lump, isn't
The
it?
technique was perfect.
Because this guy is huge, and if he was all that, he'd be playing for the All Blacks, wouldn't he? Or the Aussies. The Aussies would have somehow sequestered him.
Oh,
Nigel's happy. Here he
Defence has
comes
stepped
again,
up.
Matt. It has
Ollie
stepped
Robinson
up.
again.
Ollie's there, double tackle with Rory Thornton's owned Bill Matter tonight. That's a couple of times he's had him. Loopy pass from Edinburgh, trying to release Eroni Sow on the left wing. He wriggled a little bit, and the ball is still in Edinburgh possession, 10 metres in to the Blues half. Kinghorn just sort of straightened it. Now they come back to the left-hand side, back towards the Millennium Stadium, the big stand end of the south stand of this famous old Arms Park ground. Now then, that was a poor tackle. They've fallen off Hoyland, and he's made about 30 yards. Now it's come quickly. They wouldn't necessarily have wanted Boenventer to be the receiver of the ball, but it again has come quick. Johnson steps off his right foot, the outside centre, and now they're under the post. Savala has it. Again, they're now going to come to the left. There's a penalty in Edinburgh's favour. Good tackle by the Blues, but a pick and go, and the try is scored very, very comfortably in the end. So the Blues, who are out to a 20-10 lead, that will be cut to 20-5 with a kick to come.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some subs soon, aren't we?
I think Ali Samuel's got to go off, because
I'd say the front row needs to swap over as well.
And it looks exactly like just what you were saying. Chris Dacey with his new Go Faster haircut. He used to be of the flowing locks, didn't he? And now he's gone a little bit more conservative.
He went for the Zazeski look, didn't he?
He did. Zazeski, remember him? What a chap he was. So the flowing locks are chopped, and he is much more
coming on. Dylan? Was it Rhys?
Streamlined?
Might be the two props actually, Dylan Lewis and Rhys.
I think it's actually cool. I think they're going to do like a wholesale front row swap, aren't they? Aren't there three?
No, there's two there.
It's just Stacey and Dylan Lewis.
I don't think it's Stacey.
Is it not?
No.
I don't know. I'm putting my glasses on to see over there. Can't see here without them. Well, we'll see when they come on. 20 minutes to go. The conversion is from about 10 metres in, and he's kicked it. He's missed it. Right. Now there's been a couple of kicks he's missed. They're only from conversion.
He's gone into 10 now as well, isn't he? The Blair King-Ons.
Has he?
Yeah, he's in at 10 now, I think, because
Savala
the 10 has
gone. Has
gone.
Right. There is a Henry Pyrgos, so he's a scrum half. We had a TBC number 22. Did that get updated?
It's still which one? Oh no, I haven't got an update for that.
We haven't got an update, so we've got a number 22 to be confirmed.
Summerhill's gone off. Amos is on.
Yeah, Ali Samuel had to go.
Rhys Carre is on, and Dylan Lewis. So
Dylan Lewis, I mean, Chris and Dacey would be very upset that I mistook him for Dylan Lewis, wouldn't he? Don't you think?
A little bit. It'd be a lot easier with his old haircut, mind you.
Yeah. They do make it hard for us commentators. They really do.
Decent kick.
I tell you what.
Off the ball there.
Matt Morgan gets munched so often, but he just bounces back up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know,
he's like a little
rubber man.
Yeah,
you know, boing, back up.
There he goes.
And he's straight back to the 15 position. Right. Oh, he stepped back. Actually, he's in the 10 pocket. I tell you what, I'll have it if you want. Give it to me. I'm just dusting myself down. Kunavula takes the box kick. Blues need to respond, I think.
Thornton's taking a hit on there, Danny. Oh, good hit.
That's a great tackle by Dylan Lewis. Makes his first notable contact. Rhys Carey was tempted to go in there. Has Rhys Carey had his hair cut since the weekend? I'm sure his hair was a bit shaggier than that when he was in the tunnel at in the Stade de France.
Yeah. Been in a bubble, isn't he? So he's
they're allowed to have haircuts.
I don't know. Is he allowed to have a haircut now? I'm not sure.
I'm sure they have an official hairdresser, don't they? The Welsh do. I'd rather hope that.
Wow.
Is that going to be Bloomy bringing our coffee? Oh my
Thank
word!
you very much.
This is the knife. Thank you so much. We've had burgers. Now we've got coffee.
No, do you want sugar?
Living my
Rick, do you want
best
sugar?
life. No, I'm absolutely fine.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Right.
Out she goes again.
Lloyd Williams, Lions. There's a question.
We can't because Brynmore has to have the bragging rights.
Yeah.
We can't let Brynmore not be the
Good
best
deed.
player in his family.
No.
Quite a legacy though.
Keep pushing.
The Blues have lost a few games in the last quarters of matches
Straight
as well,
out.
haven't they? That has gone straight out. Right, game management now. This is crucial.
Yeah.
This
17 minutes.
is crucial.
With 5 points up.
Yeah.
So they've got to score a try. Thing is,
I think we need another score. I think a penalty here now obviously makes it an 8-point game with X amount of minutes to go. So I think what we do now is we don't push it too much. We just try and keep possession a bit and
so if you're a coach now,
force.
you bought your 2 props on. You're thinking your second row, you're going to swap. Oh,
Well, everyone's on now. So
I think one of your second rows is going to go off. So Seb Davis is going off. So Ratty's on, I think, isn't he?
James Ratty's come on.
I'm not changing my halfbacks as yet.
Not at the moment. Alan
Alan Amos is already
on.
on. Christian Dacey's here he is.
Christian Dacey's on. Dylan
Di's
Lewis is on.
reading our mind, I think, is he?
So everybody's on really, apart from the halfbacks.
Yeah, so Dacey's on now.
Now that is interesting because that tells you that those halfbacks are only there for injuries.
Well,
I reckon maybe Max Llewellyn is only there for an injury. I don't know. I mean,
I think Ben Thomas and Lilo, when they've had ball, are looking quite dangerous at the minute.
I mean, you can take. I mean, Ben Thomas could go to 10, couldn't he? But
Yeah.
I think
you keep it Jared on there.
what a great
Dacey.
bust that is from
Again.
the. It was Christian Dacey.
Oh, he's got the ball.
Oh, who turned him over? like
Again,
that?
he's probably just done too well. He's got away from his
he's-
support.
Isolate.
I don't know how he got free, mind you.
We just sort of wrestled himself free. The fresh legs. I mean,
There's an
that's
entry
kind
into
of,
the game, isn't it?
yeah. The best line burst of the game, apart from Lloyd Williams, is
Right, this is going up. Kick
it
it
is
out
going
again.
up,
No.
and
Get
it's
there,
coming
Jared.
down.
Oh,
But
that's all right.
it's somehow worked its way back out to Matt Morgan, who's tried to duck his way between a couple of defenders, and he's been hauled down on the 10-meter line inside his own half, right in the middle of the field.
Fine grass.
And the kick gone
Straight
down
his throat.
has not found grass. It's found Damien Hoyland
Right,
instead,
somebody's got a.
who's run back.
Oh, straight into Josh
he
Turnbull.
went to Josh Turnbull.
Oh, he hasn't been
but
held.
somehow he got up. Yeah, he was held.
Here we go.
Now
Here's
then,
3 points.
here's the well. Is it going to be? I'd say that's on the periphery of his range as well.
I think he's going for this. I think he's taking this.
So just to paint the picture, we talked about how Hoyland ran it back. He ran it back at a very acute angle from where he picked it up in between, in the 15-meter channel. He ran back virtually across field. Then he straightened. Why he straightened straight into Josh Turnbull is a mystery to me, but he did. Turnbull swallowed him up, took him down, and then Hoyland thought that he'd been released and got up and ran off, but he was very much held. Nigel Owens was right there in hand. I'm not just saying it because we're biased Cardiff fans. It was obvious. I couldn't understand why he did it. Um,
It is an interesting
and
thing.
the penalty has been given. It is going to be kicked for goal. What's your interesting thing?
So we need a bonus point win because
Do we?
Scarlets have 4 tries and within 7 points, because that would give them 2 more points. That would take them to 36, and we're on 31. So we do need a bonus point win.
Even with that, right,
How
okay,
does the
so
points
that-
difference work then?
what's the score in this? So it doesn't matter whether the Scarlets win or lose now. I mean, if the Scarlets win, they're done.
Yeah.
So even a losing, will they get a losing bonus
They'll
point
get a
as well as the try?
Oh, good nudge.
That is a good kick.
I thought I looked through that, did?
I was through. So he missed it to the right.
Yeah.
No way. They're going to get the ball back though.
Yeah.
I'd say that's good game management anyway, because you're going to get the ball back and he had a chance to kick a goal. So that's good. That's a good plan.
How many tries have we scored? 2.
2. We ain't getting a bonus point win here, mate.
We,
Have we had
we
how many
look-
bonus
no.
point wins have we
I'm
had
going to give.
against non-Italian opposition
I'm going to give ourselves
in the
curse
history
here.
of the Blues?
I'm going to give ourselves the curse here, but we look comfortable. I know I've just said it,
Oh dear God!
but I don't know. We've just got 3 good impact players coming off
Who
the
have we
bench.
ever seriously? Who have we had a bonus point win against?
Here we go.
I remember you might have been playing in this game during the World Cup of 2003 in the first season of regional rugby. So it would have been the first Blues Ospreys game here. I think we gave the Ospreys a bit of a hammering.
Oh, I think I did play.
And there was that lad from Millfield who went to school with Rhys Edwards, scored a hat trick. I can't think of his name.
What, for the Blues?
Yeah. He was a mate of Rhys Edwards. He went to Millfield. Black lad, scored 3 tries. Google that. I was here watching. I think I might have been down here as a fan watching it. I was working on.
Oh, here we go.
There was a chip
Bounce.
over the top.
Oh,
Jared Evans,
yes!
that's sensational. Right, talk us through that because I was too busy trying to remember the name of that.
Well,
So we
I think
a
they
bit of
probably-
phase play.
I think, yeah, bit of phase play. And I think it's something that we probably looked at before. Similar.
We're gonna get that bonus
The
point win,
the
aren't
fullback, yeah. The fullback was out on the right-hand side. The left winger wasn't anywhere near.
we? Who
Probably involved-
spotted who spotted?
So Lloyd put a little
Williams
chip
spotted
through.
that.
Yeah,
Chip
Lloyd
through for Jared Evans.
for Jared Evans. So great little piece of communication between those two, and great execution from Lloyd. Lovely bounce, in all fairness.
It was a lovely bounce. Do you know? I don't know whether it's just my feeling or whether it's actually a provable fact, but the balls seem to bounce up on this surface a lot more in a much more sort of, I wouldn't say predictable manner, but when they bounce, they do bounce. They can come up. When they bounce, they bounce.
When they bounce,
But they bounce up.
they bounce up.
They don't seem to dribble. You know,
When we first came on this pitch surface, because of the rubber crumb, the ball was always a bit slower reacting.
yeah, it doesn't seem to be so much crumb either.
No,
That's what I'm
it looks
saying,
quite
is it-
dense. It doesn't.
It looks like a really thick net,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
does. Yeah, yeah. It'll also take a while for the players to get used to playing back on this type of surface.
Read out some of the messages because I can't see with my glasses.
34-33 Scarlets. Penalty Scarlets. They're now 34-33 up. Scarlets 34-33 up. 70 minutes.
How could they be 34-33 up? It was 30.
31.
It was 30. Oh, did they miss a penalty then? Did they? They missed a
They missed
conversion.
the conversion.
Well, if they win,
Right.
they win. If then that's that.
Yeah, but we still. So we need a. Well, I'm gonna say we need a bonus point. Let's get another try and nail this game.
Yeah, and then whatever, and if it happens, it happens. I
Just
guess.
so that you can, reminisce on a recent bonus point win that wasn't against an Italian side.
I don't think there's ever been
If
one.
anything, just for that.
I don't think there's ever been one. Shingler's back, is he? That's good news. He's probably been back for a while, is he? You can tell I haven't paid that much attention to the Scarlets recently.
Right, good push. Oh, lovely pass that. Oh, good hit. Who's that? Turnbull. Was that Turnbull?
It was.
What a hit. Is Ellis Jenkins still on?
He's not wearing his headband. That came off at half time.
Yeah,
So
he's
if
still on.
there he is.
There you are. He's
Just
making a tackle now.
made that tackle. Assisted by Dylan Lewis, I think, was he?
Oh, good spot.
Oh, that's a good
Jared.
spot by Jared Evans. Oh, did he pick his pocket? Not
No.
quite.
Coming up. And again, Jared. Good D. Keep pressing. Oh, good hit. Keep that pressure on. There we are. Turnover.
Big one. 8 minutes.
Who's
to
won
go.
that? Ollie Robinson coming off it. And
It's a big one. with
And
8
Christian
minutes to
Dacey.
go.
good D.
Well, they're
that.
the good, like you said, they're the good decisions by how you say good decision by Dai Young. I mean, all benches get empty, don't they? Between the 70 and between the 65 and 75 minute mark. I just not, the Blues are lucky to have players of the quality of Dacey to come off the bench.
Yeah.
There are such good quality players in this squad, and Dylan Lewis.
Yeah, Dylan Lewis,
he's
he's
Welsh international, and
Welsh.
Rhys Carey. So
Yeah.
there's 4 international props playing.
And the good thing for the Blues is, they haven't played that much rugby this year, Rhys Carey and Dylan Lewis. So it's good to get them back on the park as well. They want to be competing to start. Here we go. Here's our bonus point.
Matt Morgan flaps it on out to Hallam
Not gone,
Amos,
Not gone.
and it was knocked on by Hallam Amos. Poor old Hallam. He's had a funny old season.
Yeah.
Started off, in the back three in the match day, starting 15, and and he's no longer. He's no longer a first choice back three player here with the Blues. And when players return, he'll slip further down that list, won't he?
Or he's got to get an opportunity and take his opportunity.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You got Owen Lane when he comes back from injury as well.
Thinking more specifically
Josh
about
Adams.
Josh Adams, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I wouldn't. I'm not saying that Owen Lane is higher up the pecking order than Hallam Amos, but Hallam Amos is, I suppose he's not even an emerging talent anymore. He's in the Welsh Rugby World Cup squad.
Well, he was in the Autumn Nations.
And he played in the 2015 World Cup.
Yeah.
He just always seems to be an emerging player you're expecting to sort of. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And he's got a left boot, which is sometimes
he's a good player.
He's an intelligent footballer.
I wonder if he just doesn't get so much luck. He doesn't.
He's had a few injuries, hasn't he?
Whenever he's Dragons for years, doesn't help, does it?
And he's had a few injuries. We'll wait for the Dragons scores to come back in now. Try Scarlet's 39-33.
Right, well, that's that then. That's that, because I can't imagine why Connacht.
Well, let's hope then that it's not just the top 3 that go through.
Jack Blaine is the 22, according to the match day stat. Yeah, just updated it there. I'm not going to bother doing any prep at all. This match centre is brilliant. It puts the teams up. The only thing is it hasn't put them in their playing colours.
Converted, 41-33.
Well, that's it. That's an end to it.
Well, how long's left? 5 minutes, yeah.
There's no way. And that
it's a hell of a game.
What they were 33. What were they, 33-19 or something?
Yeah.
So that
it was Richard Holland that gave him the curse.
That's right, it was. And he did say it as well, didn't he? Oh dear. This isn't the last game of the season, is it? Have we got is it our last home game? Is it?
Yeah.
Is this our last live stream?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God.
For the time being, unless we've got the Rainbow Cup and a few other games.
Okay. But this is potentially
potentially could be.
I thought that was going to bounce nicely for Matthew Morgan. Instead,
he hasn't got to wait. He's got to wait.
It bounced up nicely for Mark Bennett, and Mark Bennett is he's that's a international standard centre who needed to be pulled down. Instead, it's now Edinburgh who are threatening and looking most likely to score. It won't be enough to take the game away, I don't think. So they can let them score. Doesn't matter.
It's an easy way to get back.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, let them score, and we can get back to halfway. I don't think they are going to score now.
No.
I don't think. I think your phrase of "good D"
Yeah.
has certainly been.
Edinburgh definitely
very,
lost the zip and
very
attack, haven't they?
appropriate. Well, they were looking sharp earlier on. They've got these guys. This big fella, the number 6, Kunavula, has been hanging around in those channels.
Yeah.
Not in the same way as that can be. I think he's just hanging out there because he's in more of the old traditional Fijian way.
Oh, good hit.
The doors are being shut tight on Edinburgh
Yeah.
at the moment. That's a reasonable little poke by George Taylor. Again, they come
Give me a turnover soon. Come on.
right in the middle of the field,
Here we
moving
go.
it to the
Here we
left.
go.
Blair Kinghorn
Forward.
sort of mixing it up, coming off his right wing. Is he? You say he's playing 10, but he's like second receiver there.
Yeah. Great D. Good D again.
Good D.
I know we've talked
Good
about that a
D.
lot. Good D.
D. We're so American.
Hodges will be happy with that.
Yeah, I think, if you're going to give Coach of the Year award to anyone in the Blues coaching staff, I think it would have to be the D coach,
It would
Richard
be
Hodges.
so far, yeah.
He's really improved that aspect of the way we play, and I think. Well, I mean, what is the record since Dai Young came back? It's an improved record, isn't it?
Feels like it.
It certainly does. I mean, it seemed to go ages without a win.
Yeah.
But since he's been back,
It was the first game. Scarlets away was his
we
first,
beat,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
we beat we lost to the Ospreys early on. That was disappointing. Then we beat the Scarlets, didn't we?
Yeah.
There were two home around Christmas. I think it was on my birthday. We beat the
Yeah, back to
Scarlets.
back.
And
And the Dragons.
then the Dragons, yeah. But they don't really get.
Again. Right. Who's man of the match?
Genuinely, for me,
I know.
Josh Turnbull.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Josh Turnbull for me. Ellis Jenkins is clearly a god who walks among us.
Yeah.
But Josh Turnbull has been the standout for me tonight.
Agree.
Probably good. Lloyd Williams has been good too.
Yeah, he has had a good game.
Yeah.
He's looked sharp.
So much so he's not going to be
Get the
taken
ball
off.
away from there now.
And that's
Here we go.
absolutely referee.
Right.
That's,
Kicks down.
I mean, that's the game now. We've got 2
Yeah.
minutes left on the clock.
Bonus point.
So the game management aspect is right. Well, we've won the game. Let's see if we can get a bonus point.
Yeah, so
it's gonna
22 is your target here.
Big kick,
Get
go
out
long.
there, 22. Do not
He's missed
keep
it.
it.
He's missed it, which is rather disappointing. But
Go on,
they're under pressure, and he's chased the kick. Good chase by Jason Harries, who
Holding him
don't
up.
forget was almost eviscerated by big Mr. Matter in the first half. Now there's a penalty. That's poor because they didn't have to give that
No.
penalty, and that's a chip over the top by Kinghorn. He's knocked
Oh,
it forward.
he's knocked it
He's
on,
knocked
hasn't he?
it on, referee,
and
and he's going to dribble it
kicked
all the
again.
way down the field. Now he's
Now it's
knocked it
knock on.
on. How many knock-ons are you going to have? Third knock-on, fourth knock-on. It's been taken under the post and scored.
He's given knock on.
Well, he needed to give the knock-on here in the first instance, which obviously wasn't one because we couldn't. Otherwise, he'd have given it.
Yeah.
But, it looked for all the world to be
Well,
a
it did,
knock-on,
yeah.
didn't it?
He
It would
must
come
have-
off his knee.
He must have put it back on his boot again.
It's one of those Lewis Rhys Samet.
Yeah. There'll be a meme about it now.
Lewis Greased Zamet. What are the nicknames for him?
Rhys Lightning.
Reese Lightning.
So was it.
Reese
An
Lightning.
oldie but a goodie, innit?
Because that must have been one they used to use for you. Reese Lightning.
It's really
Why
old.
is
It's really
Reese
old. That one.
Lightning? Brilliant. I mean, he's a reveler. Every now and then they do come along, don't they?
Well,
Although he was much touted, and that's what I'm really thrilled about. That there was an awful lot of talk about him
they're bringing it back, Rick.
for our knock on.
They're bringing it back.
Hang on.
Commentator's always right.
We ought to be on the TMO. It just looked like it,
What's
doesn't it? He's going to bring him back for the penalty.
No, he's bringing him back for.
Well, he ought to bring him back for the penalty that he'd given them before they. So the penalty
why is he
advantage.
bringing him back for 22? Oh, penalty.
It's the penalty advantage they had before Blair Kinghorn knocked it on. So now, I don't know if was that all done with the clock running.
No, I think the clock had stopped. Stopped at 78.
So there's a minute and a half to go. Edinburgh will have a line out on their halfway line. On the halfway line.
On their halfway line.
Just on their side of the halfway
It's
line.
not my bed, it's my wife's bed.
Brilliant. In it goes.
Here we
great
go.
with the Blues nick it. Oh, it's a very good long one over the top.
This is the France move, isn't it?
Rehearsed move. Kinghorn.
Here we go. Ellis Jenkins. Got
Tackled
it.
well.
Got it.
Got the penalty.
Turnover.
Ellis Jenkins was straight in on Blair Kinghorn. That's the turnover penalty. There's a minute of the game to go. I think it's probably all over in Scarlet Land, is it? So that
Is it full time, is it?
There's absolutely no hope for European qualification for the Blues, which is something of a disappointment. But let's be honest, I didn't expect it.
41-36.
Or is there still hope?
I don't think is there still hope? Is there?
I
I don't know. I don't know. Is there?
79 minutes gone.
Is there? Well, it would take some sort of strange last-minute
It would.
change of the
It
rules
would.
to allow the fourth-place team to come in. I mean, who'd ever talk of such a thing? There's no mention
We'll
of
never
that,
know.
is there?
We'll never know.
We haven't heard of anything like that.
We'll never know.
And
Let's see if there's
The
anything.
Blues might yet make it because there's going to be 4 teams qualified. I don't know. Who said that?
Great live stream as ever, both.
Thank you,
Thank
Mum.
you.
Is that Mum? Is your dad or my mum?
Neil Crowley.
Thank you, Neil. I thought, I know it said
Here we
Davies
go.
went on. Here
Here we
comes,
go.
oh,
Dacey.
Christian Dacey steps off
That's
his
like
right
a
foot.
tag furlong.
Oh,
No,
it's
isn't it? Tag
beautiful.
furlong.
That was absolutely sensational. They're coming at us now, the Blues.
Alan?
Last game of the season. Hallam Amos
there
person.
you are.
Oh, he's 1, 2, 3. 3 tacklers.
Oh,
He's 2 meters
He's
short.
listening to you
I'm up
too
on my
much.
feet. Yeah, well, I've given him the
No,
push.
stay out, Ellis. Stay
I've
out.
given him the
Here
momentum.
they go.
If they're going to go, they're going to go to the right, which I think is the wrong way. They should be
They
going
gone
this
left.
way
Yeah.
because there's
Try the post. Try. Scored.
there's more room over here.
Scored.
But the Blues have got it. And
Right, who
Nigel
scored that?
Owens has his arm up. Ellis Jenkins, obviously, and someone will come and nick the ball off him. It is, I think it's Ratty. James
Is it
Ratty seems to be getting all the claps on the back.
Great bust by Hallam Amos.
It was, to be fair.
He'd be
And you
listening
can-
to you.
Well, genuinely, if he did that sort of thing all the time, and that was like it coming in off his wing as well. That was almost like a centre, a 13, a really good, taking a real good outside arc. Well, it looked like it, we never see it. That's the wonderful thing about this, is that no one knows that we're talking rubbish because they
True.
can't see it themselves.
Very true.
That's why we get away with
Anyway,
it.
you can catch his ball again.
Yay! Game over.
Right.
That is it. So the
34-15.
final score, 34-15. The Blues win with a bonus point against non-Italian opposition.
I told you
For the
so.
first time since the Ospreys came here in
2003.
1846.
I scored a hat trick against Edinburgh once, so that must have been during Blues time.
Well, yeah, it must have. Or was it against the Reavers?
Ooh, no. I don't think. No, it was Blues.
Were they the Borders, then the Reavers, and then the Reavers became the Borders? And I can't remember.
They've always been there.
It was all too painful. Did you play? Were you playing in the old Anglo? Not the Anglo. It was the Welsh Scottish League for a little season when Glasgow and when
my debut.
on Yeston Harry's.
My debut was the Rebel season.
Oh my God, was it?
Yeah, London Irish out here, 26th of February.
Good God, yeah, I remember you saying that before. So when did Yeston Harry's was the following year?
No,
was
Yeston
it?
Harris is 02? 2001,
Was it?
2002, yeah. Yeah, because then
Because when he
it
made
was
his
year
debut,
before
he
World
scored
Cup.
like 5 tries on debut.
Against Glasgow,
Glasgow.
here.
Yeah.
And then we went up to Glasgow. It wasn't such a good game.
Was it not?
The week after, it was not. It wasn't a pleasant return. We had Anthony Sullivan on the wing. And do you know who was on the other wing that day? You're going to love this.
Who was on the other wing that day in 2002?
2, I think it was. I want to say 2002.
Who could it have been? Not no, it's before Jonah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
way
that was
before
before
Joe. That was
Jonah.
07.
Okay.
His father was a great redeemer.
His father was the great redeemer, Graham Henry.
Yeah,
Graham Henry's son.
Andrew Henry.
Really?
Yeah, Andrew Henry played on the wing.
Bloody hell, I didn't know that.
Centre was Jamie Robinson and Peter Muller.
I remember Peter Muller, he's a good
And then
player.
I think it was
Jamie Robinson, anyone heard of him? Jamie Robinson. Jamie Robinson. That name rings a bell. Name rings a bell. Familiar name. Right, anyway, we're reminiscing awfully. It's been fantastic. So is what you're saying, Harry, this is the last of the live streams brought to you by Aspen Waite Wales. Brought to you by Uber Eats. The first time we actually had a bite of the pizzas were good. Uber Eats.
Burger was good. I'm stuffed.
Hopefully we'll get to do it again. I think the old idea was to try and keep the fans engaged whilst the crowds are away.
Yeah.
I will happily sacrifice my opportunity to host a live stream to see fans back inside this stadium again and in all stadiums. It's been an awful time.
Yeah.
I hope things change soon. The Blues have won with a bonus point here tonight, 34 points to 15.
They've come out to clap the crowd, actually.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
They're walking over to the North Terrace to clap the crowd.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, boys. It's been a funny old season then. I mean, it's been what most Cardiff Blues seasons are. They give you a glimmer of hope, and then then the rest of it's kind of just mired down a bit of mediocrity. But so much to look forward to. The return of Ellis Jenkins. Have we signed? So we haven't actually signed a second round of number 8, but if we did that in the off season, then we could really look forward to.
Yeah. What we've got Rhys Priestland.
Priestland's coming back. We're not short of 10, so are we? I think Rhys is a great player.
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
I think he's a great player, but I'm not sure that will make a material difference to the outcome of the Blues. It might well do.
Yeah.
But then that means it's at the expense of Jared Evans' development, is it? Or
well, no, I think you're thinking that Jared Evans is going to be in the if he's going to be in the Welsh squad, isn't he?
Is he?
A couple of campaigns every year.
Maybe.
So you've got to have strength in depth. A regional season is a long one, and you've got to have strength in depth if you're going to be able to compete. We've seen that with the likes of the Irish provinces. They've always got strength in depth. They've always got a strong 15 that comes out and plays, and they're successful in doing it. So we've got we've got some really good young players coming through. We mentioned Max Crewellin on the bench.
Yeah.
His old man knows a bit about rugby.
Yes.
Nothing about lineouts. Knows a lot about rugby. I'm joking, Gareth. But we've got some really good youngsters coming through, and it's good then that you get Dacey coming back. You got Dylan Lewis. You got Rhys Carre coming back. You have Josh Adams coming back. That adds the firepower and the little bit of glitter on the top.
It will be great, and we look forward to it. And we hope that we join you here in this stadium, supporting the Blues, marching on together. Oh no, that's Leeds. Super Leeds. And it's been great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If I get the opportunity to do it again, it'll be great. If not, I'd like to thank the Blues for giving me this opportunity to do it. And it's been good fun doing it.
Cheers, Rick. Thank you.
But none of it would be any good without you guys at home watching it. So above all, the biggest thanks go to you. And we'll see you back here in this stadium soon, and we'll have a pint. Okay, we'll have a pint together, and perhaps a small pie, but a pint definitely. See you soon. Bye bye.